We're doing this thing. Yes. Hello, internet.
I don't want it.
I need more desk.
I haven't even actually. Did I open D&D Beyond? Nope. I have not even looked.
You may want that.
Leah's like, I don't want
That's probably
You're very, very prepared.
Yeah. Gonna look at our health bars and.
71.
I don't want to look at
Leave
the
it.
health
Love
bar.
it. Beautiful.
Okay. So, last time on Wild Time, you all had found the exit to this deep underground dwarven city. And in let's
Sorry, I
see,
just looked
so
at my
much
health.
happened.
Yeah, so much happened.
Oh.
So shortly before leaving the city, you had a face-to-face counter, face to something encounter with Velus's sister, Anessa, who propositioned all of you and offered you assistance to protect you from the influence of the creatures that you are hunting. You opted not to take her up on her offer of items that would protect your minds from the creatures and keep you hidden as you delved deeper and deeper, getting closer and closer to from what you have now been confirmed is absolutely a mind flayer colony. Not quite content with that, Elias reached out to Saren Ray, the Everlight. Even though you're deep, deep underground, far away from the radiant sun and her energy and her light, a kindred spirit, an ancient ghost of a dwarf, appeared and offered each of you a boon of protection and a warning that that protection will only last for one day. And it was shortly thereafter that that strange metallic slime appeared, and you all made a run for it, found this strange enchanted dwarven gateway room thing, and statues came to life, and that's where we're picking up right now, mid-combat. And I believe my cursor. We still have a turn order, I believe, and according to this, Keegan is actually up next.
Hey, you got this, Keegan.
It's
on the splash page.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Let me pull you over to the map.
That was good. Yay!
And then pull you down to...
right, let me get back to the map view.
I did remember my HP right. Look at that.
Look at that.
Out of there.
Oh, I've got bless.
Time to
I also don't have a concentration marker, so I must not have used it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I retract
So-
the spell slot.
You've knocked down one of these dwarven sentinels, and this one is the only one that remains. Hegan.
Don't make me yeet you again, Velus. Damn
Your
it.
friends are hurt, many of them bloodied and injured. There's shouts, and the silent swing of this thing's massive club as it sort of just whooshes through the air. What are you going to do?
Cry.
Use my action to cry.
Okay. Why is Velus so fucking close?
I
know. I gave him away the last time. Why do I have to?
Though.
I do not. That's bless.
No.
One of you
Oh,
had
yeah.
it.
I had it. I no longer have it.
Well,
Velas had Death Ward.
No,
Had it.
Nell had Death
Cornell had
Ward.
Death Ward.
Yes.
She
Yeah.
already used it.
I already used it.
Velas had
I
it?
did not. No. No. I know for
I
sure I
think
never
Purnell
had
was
it.
the only one who
Purnell was
had
the
it.
only one.
Yeah.
She hasn't already used it. Had she already used it?
Bellis should
used
have
it.
had Death Ward.
Yeah, Velis really should have had it.
No, right, you dashed out of range before I could cast it on you. Like a dum-dum.
Good fucking lord.
That's what he
That
does.
tracks.
But yeah, I
You
have
gotta go fast.
for some reason though. So I'm trying to remember because Velis has
Wait.
bless,
What?
but
We
there should have
have
been
to
more
laugh
people.
because
that had
otherwise we're gonna
bless.
cry.
I mean, it may be that other people didn't put an indicator on their
Yeah.
token, which is the
I
problem.
know, but I'm trying
Well,
to then remember who I put.
I,
Probably
I
for now.
fairly
fair.
certain that you might have done
Oh.
Hegan because
I
we
think
were
I'm
well
gonna say
within
Hegan
range.
and Purnell were the others.
That
Sounds
would
I
make
right.
think
sense.
so.
Because it was whoever was like diving in at the thing, which was
Which would have been
It
Hegan
would have been
and
Egan and
Purnell.
Purnell.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
that makes sense.
Okay.
Alright.
I'm gonna put
Well,
that on then.
because I think because we had the whole discussion about whether or not Purnell still had it because of Death Ward and
Oh,
stuff,
right.
and like, but because Death Ward
Yeah,
kept
yeah.
me from falling down, I think Purnell still had it.
Yeah, I
because
still
she
had
did
it.
not
I think
actually.
this is the worst our collective HP bars have ever looked.
Oh yeah.
Across the
Yeah.
board.
Question,
Suckers, thank you so much
because
for the follow. Welcome.
As
Glad
as
to
a
have you.
reminder, I came in like after all this started, so
I very much appreciate it.
As long as
don't know
nobody
a lot of
puts fire
Welcome,
on it.
what happened before. Yeah, so that's what I was gonna ask. Like, just a reminder of
Don't
what
fire.
we already know we can't
Don't
do.
use fire on it.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Fire seems to repair it. It hits like a truck
Well, with that I knew.
It
at a really high
It will
AC.
spin and hit you if you're
Because of
next to it.
Hegan. Hey.
Oh yeah, it also
Well,
has this really cool
nice.
spin attack where it hits everyone in melee range,
That's
and it
awesome.
has reach.
Mhm.
Good
Great.
to know I'm still in range.
Basically,
And
an
also,
asshole.
you'll
Love
probably
it.
get slowed for a bit when it dies.
Mhm.
Right.
Unless this does something worse than the small ones when it dies.
Yeah, the smaller ones slow people.
About the same size, but
Cool. Well,
The other one was
God,
less scary.
I was not prepared to go first, okay?
the other
What are you
one
gonna
was the
do?
one that cast fireball.
Well, I'm already within melee range, so I'm fucked regardless. So
All right.
I'm just gonna take my 2 swings because my brain is not ready for this.
Sure.
Mood.
It's a reasonable
I
thing to do
believe.
when you're
Remember
Keegan.
what I've got. Otherwise,
Also, all the pink area is rough terrain.
So
Is it?
Not on this.
the
Oh,
Out of
right.
this,
It was just the other one.
Yeah. The upper
Okay.
floors had like a sort of textured variable thing. This is just like a thick, solid
Okay.
flagstone floor. It looks like there were 3
I
levels, and this is the
assumed-
bottommost level.
I assumed this one was rough.
it's
too.
a
I didn't
20
know.
and a 24.
Those will both hit.
Sweet. Where the hell are my 10s?
Yeah. This particular sentinel has some of that sort of detailed metallic armor and whatnot. More so. Than
Okay,
the other
so
one.
the first one is
AC is higher.
13. The second one is 9.
Okay, that's okay.
And that is all I have at this very moment.
Okay. Then we're back to Elias.
all right. I'm gonna. How many people can I get with this? 6 pictures. Okay. All right. All right. It is a 60. Oh my! Seriously?
Hey, Daniel.
I keep hitting this side button on my mouse.
Hits the back button in your
And it hits
browser.
the back button.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know that feel.
Yeah.
I have to
know that feel.
remap that
I
every
need
time.
to remap.
'cause-
Yeah, I need to.
I
I
remap
haven't
it.
See, I
revamped
use
on mine
that
either,
instead
actually.
because that makes my life easy. And I don't know. I don't rest my finger on it, I guess.
I don't normally, but I've got my dice like right there.
Yeah. If I had
Okay.
more room at the table.
Well,
I know.
while I wait for Roll20 to reload,
Yeah, I remove my mouse for
I'm-
game.
gonna do bonus action mass healing word on whoever the 6 most injured of us are.
Are we going by percentage or just total?
I don't know.
Or absolute value.
I'm gonna
I
take
mean,
a
either
wild guess
way,
that my 17
Velas-
HP.
Yeah, you
Cortanus-
definitely.
no, Velas and Cortanus, I think, are both the lowest value and the lowest percentage.
So it's
that's
Velas,
Velas and
Cortanus,
You.
yeah,
essentially me
Leah,
then. Yeah, I'm at
Elias,
54.
Maria,
Elias and I are
where's-
about the same.
okay, yeah, I can get everyone from where I am, so
How many people do you get? in
So
that?
it's either
guess
Wuria
that.
or Aiden
Either
aren't going to
we-
get the HP. So
or he what one? How many other
Oh,
ones?
Hegan
One,
is-
two,
I still
four,
have my
five,
ice
six,
block,
five,
so-
six.
oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
Fine.
Yeah, so it's really just
Yeah.
so
So there's just one of us that you won't be able to get. Is that what we're
Yeah,
nothing?
basically.
so basically just if Aiden is ice blocked,
blocked
everyone else,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not in ice block, but I still have it if
Oh,
I need
okay.
it.
Yeah.
so-
Oh,
But
right.
Well, you're also
I'm
far away, but yeah.
Connect. Hold on.
I'm more likely to be up in melee, but I also have more HP to burn technically
Yeah.
because I have like
Did
I can
So
give
that-
myself like hundreds of temp
Alright,
HP
well-
if I need to.
Okay, that's a 4. That's good. So, yeah, I guess it's between, I don't know, Aiden and Hegan are at the highest, but Hegan's
Both
Hegan's
have
right there.
over half.
Hegan right there, so. Alright, so I guess everyone except Aiden gets 9 hit points back.
Okay.
Okay.
Include myself in that. 'cause,
Yeah, you should.
Uh,
9.
and then with my action, I'm gonna. Alright, I need to try to remember for the. With casting spells,
One
can
has to be
we-
second level. Or
One has
lower.
to be second level or lower,
yes.
correct? Okay. So I'm just gonna do a first level guiding bolt at the big guy.
Okay.
You get it.
Mostly doing this to attempt to give someone advantage.
Always a
That's
good thing, especially when
Yeah.
the paladin goes next.
I know, that's why I was
Yes!
like, what is that? That's not gonna 12.
Oh.
Yeah, if I recall, his AC was high.
Yeah, no, he had high say.
Yeah.
I'm in a
His
20.
AC is 20.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Oof,
Damn.
Yeah, that's
okay,
right.
Yeah. I rolled a 2.
Oh.
Oh no.
Which the fact that it's still a 12 is
It's a, yeah.
is a lot.
Not bad, yeah.
Yeah, alright, that's it. So yeah, 9 hit points too.
All right. I have a note that he's out of legendary actions. So
I like that note. That's a
Ooh,
good
Yeah,
note.
that's a good note.
That's a
We
good note.
support- we
I mean, how many of
support that
those does he
note.
get?
Many.
enough,
So-
but
Oh,
apparently not
many.
enough.
I mean, technically, his turn was right before Hegan's.
That's
Oh,
true, it
that
was.
is true.
Would you remind him?
Damn it, John!
Defense.
Okay. Good to know. I'll keep that
Oh
in
wait,
mind.
how much was that
John.
heal? I didn't. I'm
9.
sorry. I didn't.
9.
9.
Nine.
Leah, you're up.
Okay. Really quick, I'm just looking at the thing because I have it linked to D&D Beyond still from another campaign thing. I cast Moonbeam at some point, and I don't remember how long ago because it's not on the
I think
map
that was
anymore.
a separate battle.
I think there was
It
a
was,
separate level.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because we don't
That
use
was the
chat
first
that
room.
much, and I was like, "There's 2 things in a row," and I know Bless was more recent.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
I was like-
moonbeam, if you're still concentrating on it, it's somewhere
don't think
else in the compound.
I think you're right, Kristen, and that was the other room. Yes. So I just wanted to double check. I was like, "Why is this?" Okay, so. Alrighty. So not fire things. Has anybody, mainly Aiden, I think is the only one who might have. Has anybody tried ice against this thing? I'm just curious.
I was going to, but I haven't yet.
Okay. Well, because
Mostly
Okay.
because
I mean,
Purnell is within
fire
5
is the
feet of
only
him, and I
thing
don't
really I'm
really want to
worried
hurt
about.
Purnell.
yeah. Well,
because
that's
my
why
only
I'm
thing
like
will hurt
maybe.
her, so.
But I also want to say that I mean the only ice I have is a massive spell, and I don't think I can exclude people. So we're gonna hold on to that.
I can try it my next one. I can do my ice knife.
Same.
Yeah, that's a safer way to try.
Yeah.
Only hit
Okay,
Purnell will be
nice,
fine.
nice.
It's fine.
Sorry, I'm just
Viable target.
Jumping back into things. Okay, so I mean, I'm probably gonna try and hit it.
Just try to
I'm
stab,
trying
stab.
to remember all the things that it does, and I'm like, is hitting it a bad idea?
It
Hitting
doesn't.
it is fine.
I
Yeah,
hit
it
it.
doesn't have.
I just
anything.
hit it, so
Hit it really, really hard, please.
Yes, that is
That's my thing.
the plan. Hit hard.
Nowhere to hide in this room either.
No.
No.
It's
That's
almost
why
like it was
Maria's health is at
designed that way.
70.
Yeah.
just hide behind Leah. It's fine.
I think Maria's
Um,
technically the only one who's allowed to do that.
Yeah.
I know, right?
I will make myself very small.
I could make myself very small. I literally have never done it though.
Sorry, I'm just like.
It is hard to pick up in the middle of combat. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when your turn's first.
Like no.
or third, or whatever.
Chat, so you know, nobody here has
Oh,
chat
damage.
inspiration,
Does all of his
so
damage count as
you need to
magical
choose
damage?
who you want at a given point,
Or is it
because
just straight up,
this
like,
game does not
bludgeoning?
hold over
It's,
inspirations
He
from the
hits
last
you
game.
with a really, 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 really.
That's a
big
specific thing for
warhammer.
Wednesday
That's
game
Probably
that
like,
Bill allows.
Worse than the giant with the tree.
If I've been hit by it, would it stand to reason?
In this
just
game,
not- I
chat
don't
inspiration
know that I'm
lasts
gonna do
until the
something
end of the
this
session.
level, but I'm like,
And
I
resets.
might, because I can hit hard,
This
but
is
I
the
can also
last
protect
level.
things. Or not level, round, whatever.
But if it doesn't get used,
I don't know.
you get your points back.
Would it stand to reason though that would Leah be able to tell if it was magical bludgeoning or is it just straight up non-magical?
there's nothing magical about him hitting you with a really, really big metal and stone warhammer.
statue, so I wasn't sure.
Besides the fact
There's
that like the
magical
swing
nature
is
to it.
Bludgeoning just
magical.
means it's an
Well, okay.
enchanted weapon.
Right.
Well, yes, that I mean, if I have a spell that specifically protects against non-magical damage, that's why I needed
Gotcha.
to know.
It deals bludgeoning damage,
Okay, thank you.
and it's not a
What?
magic weapon.
Straight up bludgeon.
Awesome.
It is just a magic statue.
Trust me, he bludgeons really well.
Yeah.
So Daniel, who
He's
do you
really
want
good
that
at
chat
bludgeoning.
inspiration
He
to go to?
is. The crater I left on the floor over there. I demonstrate.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like velvet
just a
shape with
velvet
like
shape.
cracks hanging off of it.
Yeah. It's like,
Okay.
it's like a
Oh,
chalk
gosh,
outline.
I wish I could action surge.
Yeah.
I wish I could
I
action
already
surge
used
here.
mine too. I'm so sad.
All right. I mean,
Everybody's
I
just
can't.
gonna become a
Leah
fighter.
does not have fighter. It's just like there's two things I want to do, and they're both actions. I mean,
If you can't decide what you're going to do, you're
I'm
gonna
going to hit it. No,
Okay.
I'm going to hit it. It's
then
just,
hit it.
this is my brain being like, I know I have a chance of actually hitting this thing really hard, but I also don't want everybody to die.
We gotta keep
It's
moving.
not
so.
gonna
Just
explode.
hit it.
My dice
I mean,
said
it could.
no, and they rolled off the table. I completely missed my hang on.
I say from the back corner of the room.
That tracks.
20 total?
That will hit. Yeah. Its AC is
Yee.
20. So
Okay. There's my bag. This is also
Oh.
making me like, how much damage do I do? What?
Well, 22 was like a sixth
What?
of its current health bar. So
Huh?
The DM is making noises.
I
Yeah,
know,
what's
that's
his
why I'm like,
noises?
Did I actually hit it or what?
Go on.
I said its AC is 20, so its AC is 20, but I think if we roll back the footage, it may actually have been higher. But
Oh no,
yeah.
the
But
20 AC was the
20
other one.
hit.
I forgot. So
It was 24 for this one,
Yeah.
wasn't it? Because it was like
I'm not.
20 for the archer.
Yeah, I don't think it was 24. I think it was 22 because when I
22.
click on it,
That
it's
sounds
got
right.
a 22
Yes.
marker.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I
I'll let
mean,
that. I'll
no,
let that
I'm
last one hit.
we've been
Um,
chipping away
I
at it.
get 2 attacks, so I can try again.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Do it.
But I'm
apologize.
like, that's
okay.
that's
It's
fair.
been a minute.
It has.
It has. It's
It's
been a
a
lot
month
of
since
minutes.
we last played
Yeah.
this game, chat.
It's been a
Just
lot
this
of
particular
minutes,
one.
yeah.
and my brain
Things have
rebooted after a
happened.
Promise
moment.
we will
so.
catch up in a
Okay,
little
that
bit.
is a 29.
Yay!
Oh, that will definitely hit.
Yeah.
And I'm
I don't know
gonna smite
about
that
that.
sucker.
Okay,
Fucking up.
smite away.
Good life choice.
Get smoked.
Yeah.
I support
It is
smokes.
neither undead nor fey nor aberration, so
That's okay.
You don't
It
get
looks
bonuses.
very aberrant to
I'm
me, in
using
my
up a
expert
second
opinion.
level slot for it.
okay. Interestingly enough, you don't get
disagree.
any. It does not. It does not trick your. It does not twig your spider sense.
All right, Alright,
So
Fire
now I
save.
have to remember how much math I have to do, so give me a hot second here. So it's
All
a
right.
10 normal, plus
Purnell
8
and
that
Warrior,
is
you're up
normally with it,
next.
plus my smite, which is an extra 2d8, but I did it as a second level, so it's an
Mhm.
extra 3d8, right? Yes.
Mhm.
I think that sounds right.
It's your character.
Yeah, I'm. Alright,
Yeah.
That
so
sounds like what I
one-
remember for smites.
It's
Yes.
1d8.
Yeah, and I'm
per
like
level
reading it
above.
off of my thing. Really.
Yeah.
Oh, chat inspirations!
Yeah,
Thank
chat
you,
inspirations for everybody.
Sebastian.
Oh,
Yay! I
Thank
forget.
you.
Remind me what that does.
D6 Bardic
D6.
Inspiration,
I'm
same
gonna
thing.
use one of my Sailor Moon.
Can that be used on
D6s.
damage, or is it just?
No,
Yeah.
just
No.
Okay,
yeah.
It's a
That's
D20
fine.
roll.
that is fine. I will remember that though, because I'm sure it'll come in handy later. 1, 2, 3. I'm counting right. Then the distance. Okay, have them all. Okay. Ugh, 2 of those 8s are 1s. That's not fun. All right. Let's see. 13 combined slash and radiant, unless you want me to split it up. Oh, plus
The-
5 plus my modifier, so 18 total.
18 total. Okay.
If you want it specifically, it's 11 of that is
As long as it's not fire,
nope,
you're
it's
fine.
all radiant. And I don't know that I can bonus action. I probably should move a little closer though, so we'll say I was there to actually hit it. I
Mhm.
realized. Actually, well, Velis is probably going to run in and hit it again. So moving closer to Velis is not going to help me do something. So I was like, I could position myself, but yeah. Unless I want to back away. No, I don't want to back away because people are in my aura. I'm good. Ending my turn. Thank you for your patience.
All right.
Well, I remember how to paladin.
Okay. All right. So as a legendary action, it's gonna go ahead and just do a big ol'. What's that thing called where you sweep and hit everybody at the same time?
It's called
Whirlwind.
fuck that.
Whirlwind attack. Sure, there we
Whirlwind
go.
attack, sweet.
So it's a.
Okay.
Is it an attack roll? Because I'm probably gonna.
It is absolutely an attack
No,
roll.
I think I already used my reaction the last round, so never mind. I have not.
And my dice are all the way over there. Sorry. Be right back.
Everybody run.
It's fine. You don't need dice.
While we're doing that, Maggie, I'm wearing this sweatshirt you got me, and I've worn it all week, and I love it.
Oh,
It's
what
my
a
favorite
good-
thing.
Love it
It's
so
adorable.
much.
It's so
Okay.
comfy
I
and fits so
got-
perfectly, and it is like my life motto.
Predictably.
Also,
I've
I'm
got
still
the
pretty sure
Vox
it has
Machina
disadvantage on everybody else because it's marked.
shirt. It's cute.
Okay, it
I'm
has
wearing my
disadvantage
big
on everybody.
Patchwork hoodie.
So,
Except for
Velis, that's really good that it has disadvantage. Because instead of a 33 to hit on a natural 20,
Woohoo!
it's only an 18.
Dead.
Yay.
On
And
who?
Pernell and
You.
Egan are in my aura,
I
so
mean,
they
that
have plus
still
1.
hits.
But it's not
Okay.
a natural 20,
It's not a natural
Yeah.
20.
It's
Not
not
a
a natural
natural
20.
20.
I try.
which probably would have killed you.
19 against
Actually,
Leah.
no.
That
on
Cutting
Velis-
words?
No,
Huh?
I don't have cutting words. I have that Raven Queen thing that I keep forgetting to use. Is another creature within 60 feet of me. I can roll a Bardic Inspiration die and apply the result of bonus or penalty.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
Yeah.
constantly forget to use that.
Do it.
So I'm
that's a
gonna
really
use it.
cool ability. You should
Mhm.
use it more
You should
often.
use it.
Right,
Yeah.
now that I have
Yeah.
it, now that I have that piece of equipment you made me, I have it in my sheet.
Yay.
Good. Oh, if
Um,
any of you else have special abilities that aren't in your sheet, remind me, and I'll make an equipment that you can add so that it gives you the ability.
The only
So
thing
Mine
that
just kind of
is-
happens. I don't have to do
I
I
anything.
put
That
mine
is-
in notes.
That is
What?
a 6, so I think that becomes a 12, which I assume does not hit Velis.
Woo!
Yeah.
Okay. It does not have disadvantage against you, Pernell, right?
No, it does not.
Okay.
And
So
the 19 does
God.
hit me because that is my AC. So.
all right. And then so it's going to be a well over 20 against Pernell and an 18 against Hegan.
Okay.
This is Tegan. Thank you, Leah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was like, he was at the plus 1, so that might be enough there. Yeah.
All right.
Whew.
Okay. So that's just 20 points of bludgeoning damage against Pernell.
Okay.
Tegan somehow ducks.
Did I
Or
get hit
whoever
too?
got hit.
I was like,
Mm.
I got hit too, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, then it's 20 against you as well.
Yeah, because it hit my AC, yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, she just go away.
But it was,
Yeah, you can also see like like vents opening up in the Warhammer a little bit, and like a little bit of like green gas or vapor starts emanating, and it smells kind of foul.
I love that.
Not
I don't like
again.
that.
Don't
And
support
Pernell,
this
you're up.
idea.
In the
Yep,
hammer?
uh,
That's
From
So
the
I did-
hammer, yeah.
Yeah. So I did this ahead of time. So basically, Pernell takes that blow and then quickly tries to like parry attack a counter strike of her own. Misses the first one. Goes
I need to
in.
roll concentration.
Oh,
Sorry.
yep.
Keep
Go
going.
for it.
Okay.
You're good.
Second attack was a nat 20. So bonus
Ooh,
action,
nice.
she immediately activates fairy fire on it.
Okay.
19, I'm good.
So it needs to make, I guess, a dex for the fairy fire.
What's the DC?
That is a good question.
Is fairy fire just on it, or is it area?
I guess
Just on it,
Okay.
I think.
Is
Or
it
is
says
it
in-
is it you get to cast fairy fire?
Yeah, I get to
don't
cast
remember
fairy
what it's-
fire as a bonus action using the bonus
Well,
action modifier. On
it's so big that it won't affect anything other than the spiritual weapon. So I don't think that matters.
Okay.
yeah.
It got a 14.
Okay. So yeah, that beats it because I think it's just DC 13 because I don't.
Yeah. You don't have the right spellcasting.
No. I
Yeah.
am not a caster. I tried though. But it still takes I wrote this down.
How much damage total?
14 radiant, 11 slashing.
Sorry,
and-
I accidentally unplugged my headphones in
Oh,
like that
no.
moment that you were speaking.
No.
How much damage?
14 radiant, 11 slashing.
Okay.
Didn't want to hear that.
Yep. And marks it again, and she takes one more swing at it, but the last one was a miss too. And she just
Okay.
basically crosses her blades and gets ready to.
Sure.
Hard.
I really need to
And that is my turn.
make some custom token. Where are ya?
All right.
Hey, Tommy.
Waria's going to slide a little further this way because,
Just in case.
she doesn't want to be in a line. It's a thing.
It was the other ones that were blasting lightning out of their
that's,
magic
That's true,
crossbow
but she
things.
doesn't trust this thing not to suddenly blast lightning. And is just going to take some Eldritch Blast pew-pews at this thing.
All right.
So, okay, one of those will not hit because it's a 19, but 29 and 27.
Those will hit for sure.
For 12 force damage. And
Alright.
then,
Yeah. You're
give it-
go ahead.
I was going to say that, Velos is sort of on the other side of the statue, and I kind of assume we cannot see him very well. But Pernell is looking pretty rough as well. So she's going to Healing Word at 4th level at Pernell.
Mm-hmm.
Where's my D4s? There they are.
Yeah. It's very difficult to parry a quarter-ton warhammer.
Yeah, and so she's like, Pernell's right there and is looking rough. 2, 5, 8, 9 plus Healing Word is plus 5. So 14 to Pernell.
Okay, thank you.
And then she's just gonna, hang out over here trying not to get hit by the giant warhammer.
Valid.
Or
Good
deal with
life
that
choice.
smoke. She'd like to not deal with whatever the fuck is coming out of that warhammer right now.
Oh, clicked too many times, but Aiden, you're up.
Okay. Well, seeing it as it's pretty close to dead, I'm gonna charge it.
It has taken a significant amount of damage, and parts of it are falling off, and you can see its movements slightly impaired. All
and-
the imaginative effects that you might see in a metallic stone construct that's taken as much damage as it has.
And as he runs up, the blade is gonna flare with it's the same kind of energy that his Eldritch Blasts usually appear, and I'm gonna hit it with a Banishing Smite.
Ooh.
Oof.
Hmm.
Well, I rolled both attacks. So the higher one is a 22.
That's enough to hit.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ah!
Whew, just
So-
enough.
So that's 5, 12. 12 slashing. 6. 17, 22, 25.
All right. Well, that's enough.
25
So,
for force, and it gets banished. So
all right. Well, it doesn't get
screw
banished
your
because.
death
Yeah.
rattle.
Oh, okay. It doesn't actually
Oh.
have one, but
Okay.
that is enough to take the thing down, and
Woo.
it sort of just you can hear parts of it grinding to a halt as it just sort of stops moving, and like the hammer just slips out of its grasp and then thunks to the ground, putting a crack in one of the tiles. But you managed to defeat both of the large dwarven sentinel guardians.
Well, do we pick another door?
I am gonna stagger my ass over here and just take a look at this wall to make sure there's nothing hidden.
Like,
Okay.
May
any
there
of these
ought not
doors.
more of
Doorway-wise.
those. This shall be
I think
tedious
there's actually
very quickly.
supposed to be a door, and that it's just a weird
You
copy
said
paste
there was
thing.
not a door
Really?
on this one specifically.
Okay, gotcha.
We asked that, so I'm looking for like secret
Yeah.
doors or
It has
hidden
been
things.
like so long since I.
Because this was the
Not
other
Yeah.
floors all had a
great.
door, but this one.
Yeah.
Plus, I mean, it's a 16 investigation.
Okay. There doesn't seem to be anything unusual about this particular. I could swear. Hold on. Nope. Oh. There is something. Sorry. There is something
there is a door.
unusual about that. So let's do to back, and I think that works. No.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Hey!
Is
Hey.
a door there?
There was a door there.
Secret tunnel.
It's a
Oh,
secret
just gonna
tunnel.
wave.
Oh.
Think
All right.
that this might be an actual way out, because if they're hiding a trap this well, I want to
mean,
have some words.
judging by the
with
structure of the
dwarves.
place, I would think this would be the last level anyway. So
Yeah, but if it's hidden, that does, I mean, probably indicate something weird. Like, stories have hidden doors a lot. We
Does
found
it
hidden
seem
doors.
as blank when you look into it as the
well,
others did?
That's the thing is like when you see that it opens, it wasn't too particularly well hidden. It just wasn't like a obvious doorway, and it does look somewhat different from the other one. I mean, physically on the map, I drew it the exact same, but now that like, oh, okay, I'm remembering all of this now. I should have probably taken better notes myself. It's much more plain in construction, and it doesn't have decorative elements like the other one. I mean, it was a secret door. But specifically, when it opens, you actually get this massive blast of superheated air. And you can see at the end of a tunnel, maybe a few dozen feet, it like slopes down, and so it kind of goes out of view. But you see this bright orange glow.
Well, that's either really good or really bad.
Lava shoot? Lava shoot.
Oh, wonderful.
Fuck.
Well,
It's gonna.
And the tunnel itself is worked stone, similar to what you've seen elsewhere.
I'm gonna sit down.
Yeah, Pernell's gonna pause
And
for a
just
moment and just
Both
second
head
wind.
in his hands, just curled up in a ball against the wall.
That was a rough fight.
I mean,
Leah's gonna use some of her lay on hands on herself here.
I'm gonna go over and
Check
do
yourself.
a second level cure wounds on Velas.
well, do we want to just
'Cause he
call
is-
it here? Take a breather.
I think wouldn't be a bad idea.
Rest would
Uh,
not be a terrible idea
short.
at this
We
point.
don't want to spend too long because
Also,
is
you
nothing
can't
about
benefit
them.
from a long rest more than once every 24 hours.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's only been a half a day since you actually last long rested.
that's fair.
We only have so long.
I mean, we could short rest though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
Elias, if you concentrate for a moment, it's basically you've got it's not so much as like a digital countdown timer. but you can see like those little halos that had appeared,
Mm-hmm.
they reappear. And exactly, you can
No.
see like the light is like literally dimming. It's like a circular thing.
Our protection things.
Mhm.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like,
Oh.
I mean, I can.
We are on a bit of a timer.
So
Yes.
Velas gets 8 hit points back because I rolled terribly.
Thank you.
sorry, Velas.
I rolled
I'll
a 2
take
and a
it.
1.
I mean,
That's 5.
no, I'll go. Well,
Velas, go ahead and make a survival check.
well,
At advantage because this is very much about understanding navigating the Underdark.
Are we short resting or not? Did we just decide that?
maybe.
Maybe.
Possibly depending on how Velas rolls and
Yeah.
knowing
21.
Okay, so you have a significant amount of experience navigating the Underdark. And you know that it is rare that there's ever a direct route from point A to point B. And based on what you're sensing, the Mind Flayer colony, like sort of at the periphery of your primeval awareness, Anessa's estimate of a day of travel, like an actual more than just 8 hours of travel day, but like almost a full day of travel, is probably not far off. And so you would imagine that if you can roll well, mechanically speaking, you'll likely be able to gain ground. But as you navigate the Underdark, you may lose ground as well, depending on how well you and Leah can navigate the dangers ahead of you. You'll be able to either gain time, or you might lose time.
Okay. That is honestly in the back of his head right now.
Right.
But I will keep that in mind for
That's fun
travel.
of Aiden's.
Yes.
I need a minute.
Yeah.
So we out resting?
Well, it was kind of rough, so if we're gonna rest, might as well do it now, so we can keep on the move as
Yeah.
long as possible.
Yeah,
It is
we
true.
don't have
Yeah, I mean, looks like we could all probably
are on
use a
a
little bit of a
bit
break.
of a time
And
crunch. But
Mm.
we can't just keep going until we collapse because that is a good way to die.
Yeah, agreed.
If we are taking a rest, Wiria will play a song of rest so that people can
What is it
regain
doing?
an extra 1d8 hit points.
Mhm. Just gonna sit down at the base of this broken statue and just
be opposed because that gets me my action surge back too. So
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, yeah, I
I
get my
think
action
it's a
surge
good
back
idea to
too.
take a
yeah,
short
we action
rest
surge back
because
on a short rest.
even
I
yes,
know
we lose a little
Aiden
bit of
refreshes
time,
I think
but
we've decided that we're
Yeah.
doing it.
yep.
yeah. So, all
That's my
right.
D10.
So
Where are you?
rest.
I like how on my short rest on D&D Beyond, under recover, it says action surge, blue dragon, second wind. I recover a blue dragon.
Entire blue dragon.
You will recover an entire blue dragon.
Sometimes I forget that Hegan has druid levels because he never fucking does anything with them.
Where are my hit
I'm literally saying, where the fuck are my hit
Gardens.
dice? Please. I'm gonna use some.
I'm going to use
Ooh.
all of my hit dice, guys.
Also,
Oh,
guys,
we're
gonna
an
see. I'm
extra
like-
1d8. If you use hit dice, an extra 1d8.
Oh, right.
Oh, I
No,
will use
I-
all my.
For each
Okay,
of them, or
It took all but one of
No,
my hit
just-
dice.
Okay, I was like,
An
what?
extra 1d8.
Okay. Okay. Oh, that's good.
Ooh, nice. All right, so that is.
I rolled an 8 on that extra d8, so.
I will be
I
back in
got
1
9
second.
plus 2 is 11 plus 5 is
All right.
12.
While you're all
That's
doing
hit dice
some
alone
math,
with that
I'm gonna
bark
get some water.
stuff, I
Cool.
got 16 hit points back, so that's cool. So there's one.
Yeah, I'm still missing 7 HP, but I decided not to roll more d8s just to.
Yeah, I don't want to do too many, but like.
Yeah.
I don't normally use a lot of hit dice. So.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember where that is on the sheet for marking what you have.
When you hit
When
short
you hit the
rest,
short rest
it'll-
You
button,
hit
it'll let
short
you
Thank
roll.
you.
The annoying thing is, like, you have to unclick it to type in the new health. So if you're like me and you're like rolling them one at a time, because I don't feel like rolling a whole crap ton and then being like, oh, I didn't need that many. Like, you know, like I don't want to
Yeah,
overheal.
I just tried to mentally math and figure out what it was. So
I'm gonna go ahead and use my second wind right before we short rest.
Yes, that's what I did too.
Good idea.
Oh, that's a good idea.
10.
Do that too.
Yeah, because you get it back on a short rest. So
Yeah.
I get
the short rest got me that bardic inspiration I used and a couple second level slots and some HP. I'll take it.
Roll the fucking 1.
To chill. You need to chill, Haku. I know. I understand. You want to go to bed. I get it, but we're not going to bed.
We're too busy trying to die.
I will be right back. I'm gonna grab lunch.
Yeah,
Haku says it's past our bedtime.
My teeny tiny little bright pink D8 for
very nice.
My Song of Rest.
All right. Yes, D8. Let's see.
Yeah, I tend to forget Song of Rest exists, which is why I was like, no, we need to use this.
I'll take a
So
sip.
that brings me up to 101. Not quite full, but close.
Yeah.
But significantly better.
I'm at 99 out of 106. I was like, that's sufficient.
101 of 126. So.
Okay, puppy. See, it's not so bad, is it? You just cuddle, just chill and cuddle. You too can take a short rest.
I could do more hit dice. I don't know.
As opposed to a long rest. I know you want the long rest.
Okay.
There we go.
And give me back. I'll miss you, Indomitable.
No, I don't have mine either.
With the heat coming from the doorway in the hallway, there's actually just a little bit of movement of air as well.
I don't like heat.
I mean, sadly, heat just sometimes is a thing that exists.
I don't like it.
Lyria, can Brightwing take a look?
Not if I'm also taking a rest because Brightwing died in that last fight.
Right.
I don't particularly want to fall into lava.
I appreciate that, but I already hit the short rest button, so
it's not a drop. It looks like it actually like slopes downwards a little bit.
But it's not like you would slide.
Right. It looks like it's like a gentle incline kind of.
I mean,
thing.
if we think I can go through and come back, I can take the broom and fly down and not drop into lava.
That particular pathway looks the least magical tricky.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, if you want me to do that, I can certainly do that as we end the rest. Wiria pulls out the broom because
Bellis has not moved since sitting down.
Because
Still head in his
Phyla
hands.
is also dismissed because the stuff didn't protect Phyla or
Hey, that other guy. How you doing?
And
Welcome.
She starts by like just sticking her head through to make sure there's no weird shenanigans. Does everything seem okay?
Through the doorway?
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like a very plain, empty hall.
Okay. She is going to throw up to detect magic.
Okay.
And then
you immediately get hints of magic from like the other doorways, but nothing from this one.
Well, this door is not magic, so that's a good sign. And she hops on the broom and flies through.
Okay. So the tunnel descends at an incline for a while before it sort of levels out again. And the further you go, the warmer and warmer and warmer it becomes. Once it levels out, you can then see the hallway continue. And it looks, and that's where the heat and the light is coming from.
Okay.
It looks almost as if the stone ends and it almost just becomes like lava, like molten hot orange, fire red, just on both sides, like a flow.
Okay.
And you can see that there's sort of like a narrow walkway, and it
Okay.
opens up a little bit, and then you can see probably maybe 70 or 80 feet further ahead.
Yes,
It looks
that's
like
how I wasn't
it
sure what I should
goes
call you out of
into
character.
some natural caverns. You can see some
Yes,
stalactites
welcome.
and stalagmites and stuff at the mouth of it.
We haven't done this
But it looks like this is
campaign in a little bit, so
but there's
we're
specifically
regathering our
like
bearings.
a worked stone
It's been about a month on
ceiling
hiatus.
that is angled, and you can see what like this sort of flow being diverted to create this kind of hidden tunnel under this lava. And every now and again there's sort of like a drip that kind of spills out, and you can see all along the narrow path bridge bits of where the lava has cooled, and in a couple of places it looks like there's like some of the edge had crumbled away.
All right.
I like
But
bridges.
everything looks like traversable, right? Maybe not pleasant, but traversable.
Yeah, like it's nowhere narrower than, one dwarf
Oh,
wide.
okay, good to know.
Really.
Okay.
Thank you.
A couple of places it looks like
So
it
far,
might
so
be
good.
like,
We'll stay alive as best we
comes
can.
down to maybe 2 to 3 feet wide, and so you might want to watch your step. And it appears as if there's sort of like this natural pooling below where you can see those gaps.
Okay. Then we're able to fly back and let everyone know that we want to be careful, but it's
Leah and Hegan have to tiptoe.
Leah and
You
Higgins
also have to
tiptoe.
duck because it's only about 6 feet
Yeah.
floor to ceiling the whole way. It's sized for dwarves.
This is gonna be great, guys. Leah's so dexterous.
Fine.
We'll be fine.
Totally fine.
Leah and Hegan maybe just like crawl. That might be the best approach. Honestly, I feel like it's safer. Four things on the floor is safer, right?
Yeah, but it is also like next to oppressively hot lava, so yeah, that might be a problem if
I
you go
don't not
slow.
need them burning their hands.
There's that too.
I
I think it's just going to sort of suck, but we can get through as long as everyone is careful. I mean, they're going to have to move a little slow just because they have to duck. And
How long
usually
does the
while
tunnel
ducking-
look?
70, 80 feet ish.
I mean, once you get to the lava part.
70, 80 feet ish.
Okay.
The bridge, you mean, or the
Yeah.
the
You
tunnel?
can see where it.
You can. Well, actually, everyone can because there's so much light. But it looks like it's a small, narrow passage, or like a cave, and like a natural cave entrance, sort of. Like the worked stone gradually gets more and more less worked until by the time it gets to the end of the bridge, it's just like actual carved stone rather than these sort of flagstone tiles.
Of course not. This civilization has been dead for hundreds of thousands, like maybe thousands of years.
Well, I mean, Leah and Hegan in particular might be nice to get past there.
But I would say, I mean, I can't get everybody, but we're small enough. She shouldn't have hard enough time on her own, especially with the broom.
I mean, I'll probably hover just above the ground, just in case something weird happens. But yeah.
Shall we?
You can get everybody else though.
I can get 5.
Okay. If someone wants to come on the broom hovering just above ground with Wiria, or wants to walk, that's an option.
I mean, you could take Velas. He seems like he wants to take it slow.
Yeah.
I can manage. Doesn't matter. I'll ride if you want me to.
Just use the damn broom, Velas.
Get up. Sit down on the broom without.
Wiria shrugs. Of everybody, I'm the least concerned about Velas taking a wrong step, but I will take the option of having him fly as well.
I don't know. Right now, he has great luck.
So yeah, right now he doesn't.
Well, once we're all on the broom, once everyone's set,
All on the
girls
broom.
Yeah.
start.
So yeah, if we head
All
down
as
the
in
tunnel.
Velis
We
and
all
Weirya.
pile
Right.
onto the broom.
Start heading down.
Not on the well, yeah.
All right.
If we head down
Broom.
the tunnel, once Aiden gets down to the part where he can see to the
Other
cave
side?
entrance past the lava, I'll use scatter to get everybody to the other side.
But Worry and Velis, you're going to go on the broom?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. How fast is the broom with the two of you? 30 feet?
Well, Weirya is very, very small. So I think we've said
Right.
in the past that the broom is, if she's carrying someone like Velis, who is also not very large, it is the same speed.
50?
Which is, let me check.
50 sounds right.
Something like that.
50, yes. Yeah, it
Okay.
can carry up to 400 pounds. So Velis and Weirya are safe. Velis, 30 feet went over 200, but I think we just determined that Velis and Weirya weigh less than that together.
Gotcha. Okay. While it's carrying over 200. Okay. So it's still going to take you 2 rounds of flying to move across.
Yeah.
And so it is incredibly hot as you venture out above the surface of that footbridge. And as you are moving over it, you can see it's probably a good idea that you're taking the broom because over time, the intense heat seems to have cracked a lot of the bridge in a number of places, and it looks like it may not have been very safe to walk on. But those of you who are waiting on the other side of the tunnel, you're definitely feeling the heat, and you can see Weirya and Velis kind of streaming towards you. But I'm going to need both Weirya and Velis to make two Constitution saving throws as you
I'm actually
traverse
not
this bridge.
terrible at those. Let's see.
14 and 8.
Okay.
19 and 18.
All right. It was a DC of 14.
Cool.
So the heat is particularly oppressive, and you're going to suffer a point of exhaustion
Cool.
as you break out into a sweat, sort of heat blisters, that whole thing. But you've all made it safely to the other side. The cave on the other side looks like a mostly natural cave that had been carved out a little bit to make it traversable. But you can see it just kind of continues on into the darkness, winding its way deeper into the Underdark. But the worked stone and the marks of tools ends fairly quickly.
I just get off the broom and start walking.
Okay.
Weirya's not going to keep flying behind everybody. That just seems silly.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
if she needs to, she has the broom. But
I'll
she-
stay
I
on
should have
the
gone for
front
you.
to assist because I am also familiar with underground spaces.
Okay. In which case, whoever's going to be making that survival check can make it with advantage because you have a number of people all sort of cooperating and working together.
Aiden, do it.
Leader's usually towards the middle, but
You're
I
better
would
at it than
assume
I
he's
am.
tall enough to see over people anyway.
And you don't have exhaustion.
18.
Okay. With Velis's occasional, more curt than usual commentary about potential dangers and pitfalls within the Underdark, you make good progress. You travel for a couple of hours, navigating through a number of various caverns, avoiding nothing too seemingly dangerous, but there are natural predators down here, in addition to the unnatural ones that you're all heading towards.
It's really true.
But you make good progress. Spend a couple of hours navigating deeper towards All right. So 22. Okay. Into the Underdark. And that's when you come upon a series of tunnels that look like they have been carved from not tools, but rather large, I don't know. Actually, Velis, you would likely know that this looks like these are tunnels carved by purple worms.
To say.
They are very large and kind of roundish, and you can see the natural tunnel that you're traveling through is basically at one point it kind of curves around, and then it's just bisected by this large, broken, carved other tunnel that's clearly been broken out rather than sort of some sort of natural not geographic, but
Geological.
Thank you. I was like, it's not geometric, it's not geographic, geological formation.
Yeah.
And so
She knows.
it's not fresh, but that would seem to imply that you've reached an area of the Underdark that might be home to purple worms. And it might be something that you need to keep an eye out for, or an ear out for, to avoid in the future.
Try to stay quiet through here.
Okay. So as you're moving, if you want to move quietly, you'll have to move slower. You can choose to not be quiet and keep a steadier pace and cover more ground. But that's going to be up to the group how you want to handle that.
We need to move quietly, at least through the worm tunnels. I don't think
That's
any of us have
suggestion.
another fight at us right now.
No.
Okay.
I mean,
Well, let's just keep our time limit in mind.
Yes.
Yeah.
Time limit doesn't mean anything if we're all dead.
And we will be dead, most likely, if we don't make it by the time limit.
I'm just gonna keep walking.
Okay.
quietly.
So you can move. You can
Quietly.
move a
How
little
long
bit
is it?
slower in order to move stealthily. So it will take you a little bit longer to progress through this particular section. If you can make another survival check for me.
I guess I'm still wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I guidance on Aiden if he's taking the lead?
It's not really like one check, and that's the thing. Like with guidance, it's sort of like it happens and then it's gone over a minute. This is
I'm using
sort
a
of
chat inspiration either way.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
that you could totally do,
That works. Okay.
but I would say guidance doesn't work across a skill check that's over like a number of hours. Well, it's a cantrip, right?
It's
Yeah.
cantrip.
Yeah.
You
It's a
can
cantrip.
kind of keep casting it. Yeah, I guess if it's a cantrip and you can keep using it, you can do it regularly throughout as he
Periodically.
attempts to do various
Yeah,
things.
Just
So that
Elias
works.
keeps
Tap him on the
casting
shoulder.
guidance.
Just
repeatedly.
occasionally taps him on the
Nice.
shoulder.
Like
Yeah.
poke.
Every
poke,
time they
poke.
stop and start inspecting,
It's
and,
literally
and
just
like,
Elias like, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
Are we there? That's what it is. Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
19.
19. Okay. All right. You push on further, moving quietly and carefully. The the caves and the systems that you're moving through do have occasional bits of various underground mushrooms, lichen, moss. Occasionally you can hear sort of drips of sources of water kind of off in the distance. It's not just all rock and stone. You can see all sorts of different striations of different types of geological formations. but after about an hour of travel, you feel sort of a tremor under your feet.
Stop, everyone.
It's very slight, and kind of happens again, but it seems far off. It's not too close by, but since you've been moving quietly, you can all go and slowly go ahead and everyone make a stealth check for me.
Okay.
That's a disadvantage, right?
Yeah, you have a point of exhaustion. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
and
add.
you're gonna pass
Oh,
without
so
trace.
it's a
Well, I
D6.
can't
Sure.
use the natural 20, so that's 26.
Okay.
We don't have. I
Because-
missed.
This is
half
kind of a
that,
group
sorry.
check, mostly just
Dirty
to see.
20.
Yeah.
19.
Yeah. So you kind of take an average, and everyone's moving quietly
mean,
and carefully and
I actually
slowly.
may not need the chat inspo. I rolled a 15,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know what.
You don't have.
Use it or lose it.
Dirty 20.
Yeah. Okay, so that
Oh,
added
stop.
1, so
Wait.
16.
Okay.
17.
All right. Okay. So once you start feeling that sort of rumble, Velis, it could very well just be, normal shifting and moving of the earth, but considering the evidence of the traversal of purple worms in the area, it definitely feels as if that's not a long tunnel, a tunnel from long ago, but rather, there are active worms, but you're all moving very carefully and quietly and have successfully evaded any purple worms, making good progress towards the city. Okay. I'm taking notes. So at this point, you've probably traveled you've probably traveled about 5 hours. I mean, sorry. I came up with a system, but I didn't sort of think about how I would actually notate it. Nope, 6 hours. Since you've traveled 5 hours, but it's been 6 hours since Elias's initial divine intervention. So that gives you about 18 hours left.
Okay.
Okay.
Velis, at any point, are you going to be using primeval awareness to?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
All right. So you kind of only have a general sense of the direction that you need to go in. If this is a mind flayer colony, it's very likely mind flayers don't build their own cities. So what you're looking for is evidence of another underdark city of some kind. Now, based on what you had sensed, it's not in like the deep underdark. But it could be, but at that depth, it could be a Dwergar city, it could be a Drow city, maybe even Svirfneblin. Those are probably the 3 most common cultures that are deep in the Underdark.
I'm keeping an eye for any kind of evidence of stoneworking or anything cultural, any signs of anything.
It's
cultivation.
you're
that
figuring
would naturally stick out to me too. So
yeah. That being said, it would be easier to find the city if and when you check in with primeval awareness. Now, you're more than willing to not do that, but I'm just saying it will make it will lower the DC of the survival checks to get where you're going, is what I'm saying.
Nope.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that the option was on the table and that you knew how that worked. All right. So you've successfully evaded
already.
Sure. You've successfully evaded the purple worms. And if you make another survival check as you travel deeper into
good guidance.
the Underdark.
Are we there yet?
Dirty
Yeah.
20.
Dirty 20. Okay.
It's no longer called guidance anymore.
Just are we there yet?
Just call it there.
I cast Are We There Yet?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes. I like this.
If he's actually doing that.
He's gonna get punched in the face.
He
Are we
is
close
gonna
enough? Are we there? Are we
make
close?
some
Another
remark
challenge,
about, well, if we had a
Right.
better idea of where we were going.
No.
All right. So with about so you've traveled about another 3 hours. So at this, it's been oh gosh. Normally, a full day's worth of travel would be about this far, but you know these are not the well-maintained roads along the Menagerie Coast, and so you're having to avoid dangers, traverse
Dr.
rock
Pokeri, thanks so much for the
faces.
follow. Welcome.
There
Glad to have
are
you.
occasional chasms that you navigate, and so it's slow, methodical going. But Aiden and Velis and Leah
did
sort of
not.
all working together.
It was replying to that chat.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Missed that.
Sorry.
No worries, no worries. But the you're making you get the sense that you're making good time because John keeps rolling phenomenally well and not giving me all of the fun stuff on my chart that I get to use it and throw at you guys.
Hey, the second one was a little scary.
Fair.
But Velis.
Yeah.
You definitely have the sense that at this point you've descended deep enough that you would be in sort of the middle. It's called the middle Underdark. And this is the layer of the Underdark that is infused with it's something that the Drow call Thesaurus, I think. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but it's sort of the natural sort of magical energy that kind of permeates large sections of the Underdark. That is what infuses a lot of Drow magic and whatnot. And maybe it's Thesaurus. I don't know. I am completely blanking on it, and I don't have the PDF up that I was referring to back when I was. Anyways, sorry. But what that means is that what you've discovered in this next round of travel is a large natural cavern that is sort of heavily infused with this Underdark energy. And there are crystal formations of all sorts of pastel-y, rioty colors filling this particular cavern. And you can see it's particularly large. And the temperature here is much warmer than it is elsewhere, and you can possibly from some of the energy that's been concentrated in these crystals. But you've got all sorts of hues of teal, pinks, purples, blues. It's very, very pretty. But Velis, that the energy can sometimes be very chaotic and play havoc with magic. But at the same time, can very much be harnessed. And so as you're entering this large natural cavern filled with glowing crystals, I would like all of you to make a perception check. Wisdom perception
Nope.
check.
Disadvantage.
I get to roll that. I'll take that.
I will
Okay.
use one of those d6s.
Because unlike Sam, I use
Wow.
halfling luck.
17.
Perception. 18.
29.
Okay.
Not great.
24.
17.
8.
Yeah, I have 17 too.
I rolled a 1 and a 19. So
I used
Okay.
one of my inspirations.
So I would imagine that you have a high passive perception as well, right?
Okay, my
Yeah.
passive is higher than what
And your
what I have,
passive, yeah.
so-
What you notice is some of the crystals appear to be moving, but on closer glance, you can see it's actually some kind of like crystalline creature. Not necessarily spider, but like some sort of quadrupedal crystal elemental thing, and it's kind of just crawling about, moving amongst the crystal. It doesn't seem to be reacting to your presence, but when it holds still, it's almost imperceptible in and amongst the different formation.
We're is going to keep a very close eye on
Yeah,
said
do I
crystal
also
creature.
does Elias also see this?
Oh yeah, you
Can I
both
see
you
what
both
they-
would
We have the
see.
same passive, so
The 18 would see it, yeah.
Okay.
There
Okay,
are
so
kind of
see
a
that.
bunch of numbers.
yeah.
What I would say actually is if I call for saving throw or a check, what would be very, very helpful is putting it into the chat.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I get lots of numbers thrown at me and I can't quite keep track.
Cool.
Alternatively, I can just say what the target number is and then the
Mhm.
effects if you succeed or fail, and then you can just kind of determine that. But we'll work on some of that. 3+ years into the campaign, optimize
We
our
get this
communication,
eventually.
right?
Take some time. Take some time.
know.
It's okay.
Learning curve.
Uh-huh.
Mm-mm-mm.
Okay. Yeah, just kind of keep an eye on it. But
Okay. All right.
ask
I
actually,
would-
ask Bellis, do you have any idea what that is?
Do I have any idea what that is?
I don't know if you have ever I don't know.
I can.
Well, it's I don't know. Have you ever has Velis ever encountered crystal type things before in the Underdark? Likely.
Does the Taldore Underdark have these things?
Who's on the Tal'Dorei Underdark Council? Are they crystal things?
Anessa's on the Taldore Underdark
Damn
Council.
it!
Basically, she is the Taldore Underdark Council.
Right.
But no, I feel like he's traveled a lot through
Right.
the Underdark by nature of his work. But
It seems very much a it looks like it might be some kind of elemental. So it's not like a predator type thing that's like slowly following you, but rather a magically occurring kind of creature. But as you're making your way through, you're all just kind of traversing the cavern, and you haven't seemed to express any interest in these crystals, and so the creatures don't seem to have expressed any interest in you either.
I would just quietly tell everyone not to touch the crystals.
Mm-hmm. But those of you who, well, I would actually probably say everyone but Purnell, because you're all spellcasters of various stripes.
That's fair.
That is, we are a very
tracks.
magic
We do have a
heavy
lot of
party.
magic. It's true.
But as you're passing through, those of you who have access to magical abilities can feel in various ways the sort of energy emanating from these crystals.
Does Leah sense anything because her oath specializes in magical-y things? I don't know.
Did you want to do a specific thing?
Can I do a? I feel like a nature check is the closest thing because
you could definitely do a nature check.
That person, but I'm like,
Yeah.
Nature
But I meant
magic.
if you're talking about like paladin stuff, then there's paladin abilities where you can literally sense evil and such. And so like the question
Well,
is,
yeah.
are you doing that?
I mean, I'm more just. I don't think she's super suspicious of crystals. She's more just like, oh, these feel funny. So nature check is a 21.
Okay. So these
For
things are
magical nature stuff.
yeah. So these crystals are natural in the sense that they're not manufactured. They are very much but they're very inherently magic. And you think that they would probably have a significant amount of interest for anyone who collects that kind of thing. But it's not unnatural, if that makes sense.
So
it's not nature that you're familiar with. This whole like
they are naturally occurring.
Yeah.
It's not like somebody jammed crystals into the wall.
Right.
I would say
there's a part of me that kind of wants to try and cast light just to see what'll happen, but also that could be a very bad idea.
You do know that
what'll happen.
Don't
Velis, you know
bad.
that in areas where this and I keep looking for the PDF that has this thing in it. But it's like this entire PDF about the Underdark where I got this from, but I can't remember which damn folder I put it in. But Velis does know that in areas infused with this energy, that magic is amplified. It's not completely unpredictable. It's not wild magic, but it is amplified and sometimes altered.
I would kind of probably tell everyone that as we're walking, since we do have so many people who have magic. Just don't relay, don't cast anything unless you absolutely have to, because you don't know what it'll do. I'd also say, just because I didn't mention it, I think that the whole time, most of the time that we've been walking, just reflexively, just hand on one of the daggers, like almost white knuckle, just reflexively while walking.
Oh, I don't feel like that was directed at that don't use magic thing.
It's directed at everyone.
Yeah.
Everybody. Except for now.
It's general.
Except for now, yeah.
I mean, Pernell technically
somewhat directed at Elias because he's the one dumb enough to do it.
She's not the one casting the magic, though, really.
He's the one that will do it because he wants to see what'll happen.
Yes.
Elias
is a shithead. We know.
Wow. Hypocrisy.
It's true, though.
Also true for Velis.
I didn't deny that.
Well, let's be careful then.
All right.
Can we break?
Okay.
I'm really hungry.
Oh, break time.
I don't.
A quick break.
We started particularly late, but I can't run particularly long.
Oh, okay.
So what I'm figuring is we'll probably get through travel.
Okay.
And then kind of call it as a depending on what encounters you may just get into, but maybe just have a shorter session rather than take a break and then keep playing.
Okay.
As much as I'm like, part of me is like, it's been so long, but then this is me, and I'm like, let's be honest.
Yeah.
It's almost midnight.
We're making some progress, but we're gonna have to definitely wrap it up before too long.
Okay.
Just because we started
I may
late.
have to step out then because I really have to use the bathroom.
Yeah, I mean, if we need to take like a quick bio break and
bio break would be good at least.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we can do that.
Okay, quick bio break chat.
Right,
We'll be
let's
right
take
back.
a quick 5-minute bio break, 5-ish when everyone gets back.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
we shall deal with this the way we deal with everything else.
Punch him in the asshole.
Yes, the prison pocket.
What is with you? Prison? I'm gonna use that new spell that I got just to punch Nox. I think I'm gonna do it. If we're not doing it tonight, I think I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna wallop him right now.
I was trying to have a moment, then no.
It's Bureau's fault. Blame Bureau. He's the one who said it.
I said it once.
I know.
So
You shouldn't have said it.
Yeah, but when John hears it and he loves something, he's gonna run that joke into the fucking ground. That's what you don't understand.
he's gonna bury that thing 10 feet deep.
Here lies
10
prison pocket.
feet up the prison
Episode
pocket.
55 to 80.
Side behind you, those of you who are still in the four-way intersection.
Oh boy.
You watch as coming out of that weird green glowy liquid
Motherfucker.
is another one.
Fucking
I
hell.
knew I should have drank it.
No.
I don't think you should have drank the
No.
snake liquid. People have been telling me that for years. I've never taken their advice.
Oh my god.
Big inspiration.
What you gonna do?
Someone clip that, please. Tommy, clip that shit.
And I fist hard. And I fist strong.
All right, I'm down. Let's do this.
I'm not King Shimon. Let's do this.
Excellent. Prepare your body. No. You should not eat dinner before this. Otherwise, you might puke it all over me, and that is just... Ugh. We are fisters here, men of culture.
Well, I had fun.
I don't know. It seems like a rather unsatisfying finish, don't you think?
I don't know.
Thou
I'm
hast
pretty
heard such a
satisfied.
thing many times. He set himself up for that fucker.
Elias just falls out of his chair.
This one quickly reaches out to catch him.
This is at least worth. If something's going on in this city involving, I'd like to know about it.
Of course, I shall follow their lead. Yeah. But for now, I know thou wishest to have thy spell time.
Spell time?
She doesn't really know.
That's a phrase.
She's like, that's...
Is that what they're calling it now?
He wants to go alone into the bedroom.
Not how modern slang works.
Put out some incense. What do you think?
It's gonna take me like 10 minutes.
Nah, I'll just void that. I'll cast locate object on gold coins.
You get several thousand dings on your locate object. Without too much trouble with that, you are able to find the horde of Zuthus, the corroded soul.
We found them. Yay.
Fike, I shall not say this very often, but get the hole ready.
Yeah, it's not gonna fit in the bag, brah. It's not
You
fitting
just
in the
got
bag.
experience points.
Yes!
Let's go. Let's go.
I hope you've got quite a few other a small army of capable fighters with you.
Smash cut to small army fighting people in the ring in that bar.
Ding, 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 ding.
Smash cut to Vanya and Orion fighting what looks to be about a dozen other dwarves in an caged ring.
Please tell me Vanya is wielding Orani like a club and is just and he's swinging down, stopping right before that. Orani punches. Hey, the punching club, my only weakness.
Just leave one leg open so I can kick him too.
Smash cut back to the office. Smash cut back to the office of Nostock.
You could say we have something along those lines.
Specifically, this one's called. That one's called. Fuck.
It's a weird name for an island. Fuck.
You can be
All right,
friends
we're back.
with my kobold barbarian.
All right.
There we
Yeah.
go. Yeah.
Carries your kobold around when they pass out.
All right. Just because it felt underdarky, but this isn't actually,
Oh.
you know, the
That's
exact
cool.
bridge
Okay.
that you saw. That was just the closest thing that I had. But it felt a little bit more appropriate. I'm looking for I thought I had uploaded some really cool Underdark background art type stuff, but unfortunately,
You're not
I don't have
finding it.
anything. I'm not finding it. Here, I'll just pull this over here while we're navigating the Underdark. That's cool.
Underdarky.
Yes.
I love the silhouettes. It makes me happy.
Oh yeah.
It looks like we're just floating.
That song is going to be stuck in my head now.
Yeah, right.
Like never
All
left my
right.
head since I was a small child.
Yep. With the Fezeres infused crystal cavern behind you, you progress deeper on into the end. Oh, I think it automatically plays music when this tab is loaded too. Let me.
I was wondering where the music came from.
Yeah.
I was so
Uh,
confused.
I don't hear.
Oh, I didn't
I don't
hear
hear
it,
music.
yeah.
What?
Yeah, it was very, very, very quiet. But I
I
think
have it.
I had a
Daniel.
setting where when you come to this particular map screen for the first time, it plays like
cool.
Wildemount music.
Yeah. I was like, do I have a critical role tab open that I'm not seeing?
Another wisdom survival check from the group or from the trackers, survivalist.
From Aiden?
From Aiden.
Yeah.
Aiden aided by everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
We all ate Aiden. It's a thing.
Aid Aiden. Lol.
19.
Okay. I mean, advantage is good.
Yeah, it is.
All right. So.
Oh no.
Huh?
My headset got lost in my hood.
Oh.
Okay.
This next leg of the journey, you are beginning to see evidence of corrupted flora and fauna. Strange, misshapen tunnel rat type things. No spiders. There seems to be a very distinctive lack of anything like that. But you're seeing more and more strange mushrooms and lichens that look unnatural. Seeing evidence of sort of the natural creatures of the Underdark, but unusually misshapen. Kind of similar to what you had encountered on the surface as you were navigating up the river. Only this is in the Underdark. At one point, when
big
you're
oof.
traveling a natural cavern, Elias and Wario, you both would notice this pretty clearly right off the bat, but there are as you're traveling, you can hear the sounds of sort of creatures moving through the cavern ahead of you. And you hear them before you can see them. Now, if I'm not mistaken, probably should have covered this beforehand, but can everyone see in the dark?
No.
I would have to
Yes.
cast light.
Leah does
or
not have dark
something.
vision.
Yeah, I think Leah and Elias
So,
are.
all right.
Yeah.
In which case, you're going to need a light. Now, you can have light, definitely. It's just a matter of like you have to be carrying a light source.
I can use my
main point.
mace. Or
Yeah, I was gonna say, or if Elias wants to cast it on the top of
mean,
Leah's glaive, so he doesn't have to like hold it, like because she
true,
basically
yeah.
walks like a walking stick, and that thing's really tall.
Right.
So.
Can you just
Yeah.
throw
Oh,
something
I can-
over it if we need to dim it?
Yeah.
Easily?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I would.
So you both
Oh, yeah.
hear
Leah's got that. I can also just
sound
walk light.
echoing
Yeah.
ahead. So it gives you an opportunity to dim the lights.
Yeah. So as soon as I hear something up ahead,
Yeah.
because I think I can just.
I mean, yeah, it's a cantrip. You should just be able to like
turn
snuff
it
it
off.
out, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, you can just drop. You should just be able to stop it if you want
completely
to stop
cover,
it
yeah.
entirely.
I mean, I could also just end it. It doesn't say,
Yeah.
but or no, it does. Yeah.
I would think.
Yeah,
most
or
things you
dismiss
can.
it. Yeah, you can dismiss. So yeah.
Most spells you can end.
Yeah, I think as soon as I hear something up ahead, I'll turn off off the light.
As Elias does that, where he is gonna sort of slide through towards the front. She's not gonna like go in front of folks yet, but she's gonna like tap whoever's up front, which I think was Aiden and Velis, and sort of make a head gesture up ahead. There's something ahead.
Right. You're not quite sure what's ahead or what it's doing, but you heard the sound. So what are you all doing?
Pause.
Yeah. So I assume
Mm-hmm.
there's, I'll mention if feel like there's something.
How far ahead?
Cavern ahead, it sounded
It's hard to tell exactly. The cavern isn't. It's not sort of massively wide and open. It's more like it's a tunnel that kind of widens and opens and kind of shifts. But it's more sort of oblong than it is tall or wide. And sound travels and echoes. So it's
hard to say.
Hard to say exactly how far. Now you can see considering both of you can see 120 feet in perfect complete darkness, and Velis has extended dark vision as well, don't you? Like extended range, 150 feet. Yeah.
I don't know what my range is, but
yeah. So there's stalactites and stalagmites and such, and it narrows and widens. But with that in mind, you can see sort of near the end of the your vision shapes that are kind of moving towards in your direction. And Velis and Aiden, you'd probably be familiar with these creatures. They look like hook horrors. I know.
That's a fun name.
I don't like
Yeah.
that.
I don't like those. I'm familiar with them. I don't like those.
Except they don't look like normal hook horrors.
Of course not.
Of course not.
I hate everything about this.
Nope.
No, thank you.
So normally they are almost like this strange avian looking bipedal, like a hulked out Skeksis kind of thing with like spiky bits coming off of it. Except these are really, really, really far hunched over. And instead of sort of walking bipedally, they're kind of like walking on their forelimbs, almost like a gorilla in a way.
Are we in a tunnel or a cavern right now?
It's sort of a little of column A, a little of column B. So the the tunnel opened up for a ways. So it ranges from like 20 to 40 feet in width, kind of undulates and changes and shifts, little changes in elevation and stuff. And it's about, maybe 200 feet long, maybe 60 feet at its most widest point. So it's a cavern, but it's not like,
Could we conceivably
Moria.
get behind things and
Oh,
let them
there's
pass?
cover and stalactites. and
I'm gonna
stalagmites all
grab
over
the
place.
arms of the two people closest to me, so Aiden and whoever
Mhm.
else is closest, and just pull back and
Mhm.
gesture to any cover to
Right.
get down and stay quiet
Okay.
and duck
Is
behind
there-
something
Is there
myself.
cover big enough for Hegan and Leah?
You can attempt to hide behind
typical,
some
I
rock,
become a tree,
various
doesn't
rock
really work
formations.
here.
I can drop darkness over you two.
Sure.
I could also just go invisible? ? But are we still not casting magic?
Are we away from the crystal area?
Oh, you're like hours away from the
Yeah.
crystal.
Okay, good.
I can drop darkness on you
Mhm.
two
Okay, that works too.
Yeah.
to help with cover. So get behind something, and once you're in place, I will drop darkness.
Leah will find the biggest
15 foot radius.
Might.
Might? Which ones are from the ground?
Stalagmites.
The
Oh,
might. Because
I
it has an
respect
M, and so it rests on the ground.
How is an
Versus a stalactite, which is a T and it's tall because it's
tight,
coming up top.
That's how you know the
T
difference.
for top.
Okay, T for top made sense. I still don't understand how M has
And
T on the bottom.
visual.
I'm like M
Yeah.
ground.
Yeah.
Stalagmites are on the ground, and it has an M.
G for
and
ground.
so,
Um,
or G for ground. Yeah.
Don't they both have a G?
Yeah, they both have G.
Miria sees
Stalag-
Velis
yeah, they do.
No.
Oh,
Stalactites.
Stalactites, right.
Stalagmite.
Right.
Anyway, hiding.
If we're seeing
Okay.
Velis cast darkness,
We had fun while
Dexterity
learning.
rolls from everybody.
What is it?
I think
What is it? Dexterity saving throw?
Stealth.
We're
Yeah.
using
Dexterity
what?
stealth.
Maria's gonna go stand by Leah, who she knows cannot see a damn thing.
Nope.
Especially
is that?
because magical darkness.
All right.
So what am I? What are we rolling?
Stealth.
Stealth.
Okay.
Dexterity
I heard
stealth.
dexterity check, and I was like, eh?
Yes, it's a
Brendan
dexterity
does
check.
that.
Oh wait, I'm invisible.
Right.
So technically, it would be a straight roll, not a disadvantage roll,
Right.
because.
Well, I rolled a
Okay,
15
so I have
again.
to re-roll because I rolled them together.
I rolled
Okay.
a 15 again, so this dice
Ha!
is, Maggie, the die that you got, or the dice set that you got me for Christmas or whatever, has been rolling
bad
pretty
at this
well
tonight.
for me tonight. So
That's good.
But also, yeah, invisible if they use dark vision. Because fucking
Right.
rangers.
Okay. So these strange hook horrors, you can see, as is usual, there are, like one of them, it's kind of like leaning forward on
Apparently, those are a bane.
forearm claws. And you can see that it's like its movements are disjointed because some of its limbs are longer than it looks like normal. Another one is moving on like what appear to be like 3 arms. And they're moving as a group. And their behavior seems very much less like a grouping of a pack of creatures that are moving independently, but rather almost as like one group, and they kind of like shift and move in a way that would make Dr. Alan Grant very, very fascinated.
So they're moving with one mind, essentially.
It looks that way.
Like a
Yeah. And they're moving up towards you. As they near where you've all taken hiding spots, and they're much closer, they seem to have taken absolutely no notice of your presence. But when they go by, you can definitely see that these things are warped and misshapen. And but they are completely oblivious. Despite the fact that like some of you are not as quiet as you would wish to be. But Elias, you can see
I
as
can't.
No, Elias can't.
I
Weird is
turned
the only
out
one
the
who can
lights.
see.
Yeah.
I can probably hear them, but I can't see.
Yeah.
Unless there's something else passing light.
no. As they get closer,
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Elias, you can see those halos around everyone's head begin to brighten and glow more intensely as they get closer.
Basically, that's what's keeping them.
That's what's keeping them.
And then as they pass on by, it kind of dims a little bit, and then kind of it's like one of those things where it's like you don't notice they're there until you like think about them, and then then you can see them. It's that weird thing like out of the corner of your eye.
Yeah,
when
the
you look at
halo
it,
is
it
the
kinda
divine
goes away, but
intervention that
every
worked
now and
for
again,
Elias
you can
to
see
give
those
us
halos again. But
basically
it begins to
non-detection
dim.
as we try to get
Does anything
closer to a
about them
mind flayer
stand
hive.
out to my sword.
So we have it for a day.
You check in, and he
You go, hey, sword, it's me, Aiden.
but basically, it can sense what you can sense, and it's like, yeah, no, those are definitely Delkir touched, not crafted, but corrupted, more through exposure, long-term exposure.
Yeah, of course there's a Delkir down here.
Yeah, they're too clumsy. They're too clumsy to have been made by Dern, but definitely getting closer. We should kill him anyways, though. Just take him out.
I don't know about that.
Hey, well, if they went past, then shall we continue? They're definitely a sign we're getting closer.
Okay. All right.
Once they're past, Wiria will take Leah's hand and lead her out of the magical darkness.
Once they're past, I'll dispel the darkness.
Fair enough. I was like, Keegan's okay. True son.
Oh, yeah.
Leah's blind as fuck.
Yeah. I hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah.
Leah's like sitting in the dark going,
okay.
This is fine.
You can hear creatures pass by.
oh yeah, like she's aware of why, but yeah, she is like not moving because she's just like, I don't know what's happening. This is not okay.
There's a very reason that I said Leah, Wiria goes to stand to chill by Leah.
Yep.
So that mine is still like light and
Okay.
Not only no dark vision, but also magical darkness.
They pass on by, unaware of your presence, and you can continue on deeper into the Underdark. So the way I broke it down and set this up is it's a series of 6 checks. You've completed 4 of them, and this is kind of going to determine your pace of travel and what you encounter. And at this point, you're basically you're making good time, and you're going to beat your the more. I didn't think about how to explain this. I just had the system in my head. Basically, every time you travel, or every time you make progress in one of these 6 chunks, there's a different chance of encountering based on what it is that you roll, and how well you do, and that can determine how quickly you can move and how much time you can regain or lose on that leg of travel. And so you've completed 4 of the 6 legs of travel. However, at this point, because you've all been traveling steadily and progressively, even beyond the normal day, I'm going to need everyone to make a Constitution check for me.
I was also gonna say It's like how
A
much
check
time
or
do we have
saving
left on that?
Yeah.
That's a check.
Do I have an idea?
So
Oh, so I have
yes,
disadvantage.
you do have an idea. Now you can choose to take a short rest, and you'll be fine, but it'll take time.
Constitution check, right?
Constitution check, yes.
Even with disadvantage. For once.
My con check is 17.
I mean, I want to know how much time we have left before I decide if we're pushing on or not.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so you started out with a short rest, 1 hour. Your initial travel through the Underdark, right up until you found the Purple Worm tunnels, was 3 hours. Basically, you've done 7, 8, 9. So you're currently at 12 hours of travel.
So we've got about 12
So we've used half of our time limit to get about 2/3 of the way there.
Right. So if you roll if you get 20 or above, you can make that leg in 2 hours.
Chat, give us some more chat
and you
inspiration
can
for
save
Aiden,
yourself 2
especially.
hours. If you get high, you can get 3 hours. If you make an average roll, it'll take you 4 hours, and anything more than that starts adding extra time.
I was gonna say, usually getting high takes more time.
I'm just trying to think.
We got rid of the pop brownies.
Forgot about
You know
that.
what we need? We need the stuff that Sterling has.
Yeah.
Oh God.
We're gonna need some kind of rest in there at some point because otherwise we're traveling for 24 hours straight.
Yeah. You also got your chat inspiration back, Aiden.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So the DC was going to be 14. So Elias, you get a point of exhaustion in that because you've been
What was the
traveling.
DC?
14.
Oh, okay. I thought you said 18 for a second, and I was
No,
like,
no, it was 14. But just because you've been traveling beyond like the normal, you know, I mean, at this point you've been going for 12 hours. So the way it was divided out is 6 chunks, each of which would default to 4, and so you would basically run out of time. But you're making progress, and you're saving time on the end, in which you're going to have this complete immunity to and protection from aberrations.
Well, we'll see because we need to get some kind of long rest in there.
We have to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to sleep eventually.
We've burned so much on that
Mhm.
fight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and also just
there was
traveling for 24 hours
Traveling
straight
for
is
12
not a good
No.
idea.
Yeah.
Before a big fight.
You're
3 levels of exhaustion or whatever. you know.
Sleep is for the weak. No.
Yeah. It's going to be another survival check for the 5th leg of the journey.
Hey.
I got this.
Natural 1.
I mean, I'm the one.
Well, Aiden's been rolling.
Aiden's-
He's rolling at advantage
Oh,
because
never mind. I thought you said Constitution check.
No,
25.
No.
Never mind.
Okay.
Ignore me.
Got that now.
We were talking about all that, so I was just like, oh no, here we go again. Like,
Okay.
ignore me. Clearly, I'm tired.
Right. So with the 25, you find a shortcut and you actually gain time. Basically, mechanically speaking, you make the 5th leg using only 1 hour of time, because you were able to make use of.
I'm trying to track the time differentials. So have they all been just 3 before at this point?
Yeah, because no, the dirty 20 was 2.
Okay. So basically, at this point, we're 7 or 8 hours ahead of the curve.
Just about, yes.
Yeah.
So technically,
afford
depending on
a
how
full
long
leg.
this last leg goes, we could have enough time for a long rest and still have a little bit of time if we're right there.
But if
So
you
we
take a
don't
long
want
rest,
a long rest that
We
close.
don't want a long rest for well.
you'll lose the protection
At some point.
Yeah.
We lose it if we long rest or if we just.
I thought it was 24
only
hours.
lasts 24 hours.
Right, we're
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying with the amount of time we're gaining,
Right.
Yeah.
we should be able to have enough time to get a long rest in there.
Right. And then you'll be
Depends
there
on how
with
we
no
do it.
protection.
Yeah.
But at least at that point, we're there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we could get, as long as we could sleep without it dropping while we're asleep, I think is the idea.
Okay. All right.
Because the protection was more from them detecting us coming, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's
I mean,
So with that one,
What was the
we've
main
used
goal?
13
Yeah.
hours essentially.
right. You're at 13 hours and you have one final leg.
We have one final leg that's intended to take at least 4. So
Right.
we will have at least 6 hours.
Yeah.
Depending on
Unless
what you
we
get
roll
for this
really
next
bad.
roll.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But basically, you've probably you found a shortcut.
Hmm.
Mechanically, however that works out.
Did you use your chat inspiration before?
No.
Okay.
I still have that for this roll.
Yep, you still got it.
Okay.
I may just burn it to get a really high roll.
Okay. Go ahead and make this last final roll for the last leg of this
No
journey.
whammies.
Oh man.
Can I guidance?
So close to.
You've
Yeah,
been
you've been
poking him.
guiding, you've been
Well,
guidancing
it's
by
like, I'm
default.
gonna take a picture of this, and you guys can determine if it's cocked or not.
Okay.
Because
You'll
it's
simultaneously
on
use
a
it before.
19, but it also kind of looks like it's cocked.
If it's not like kind of cocked, then it's probably okay.
Sword cocked.
I mean, my dice kind of land at the corner of my tray a lot.
I mean, I don't wanna call it, so I'm just gonna take a picture of it, and we can make a majority rule here.
Okay. Okay.
As we all wait. Like,
do
stare at
do do do.
Future Aiden. Inspiration.
There you go.
Oh.
That's kind of it's kind of a bad rotation.
That's
honestly.
a tough angle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, do you want me to come look and get a view a second?
If you turn it sideways, it looks better, but that's kind of hard to do.
I'm kind of doing it. Mostly looks.
It looks like it's on the 19.
Yeah. If you want to look at it in person.
Wow, that's a weird angle.
Yeah. It looks.
As all of us like turn our heads sideways.
It's like 5 degrees cocked.
Just re-roll it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Reroll
That way,
advantage.
it's not good, it's not bad. We'll just re-roll it.
Well, the thing is, the other one is a 1, so whatever I roll on this will be better. So
Yeah.
even if it's a 2,
Yeah.
I had to take
But
it.
Unless
if the
it's
other
also
one,
a 1.
If the other one like messed up like where that rolled, then just re-roll the advantage.
Yeah. Now it's a 5. So.
But you have guidance and inspiration.
And
Yes,
chat
and that adds
inspiration.
an additional
chat
5,
inspiration,
so
yeah.
there's a total of 15.
I mean, this is an ability check.
Total
right?
of 15. Okay.
What?
It
Ability
is.
check, right?
Yeah.
It is an ability check.
Okay.
Oh.
It's now a dirty 20.
Yay!
It
Okay.
says any ability check, attack roll, or saving throw.
It does say that.
Yay!
That's why I asked.
Okay.
Nice.
So I would say your shortcut that you found, and what probably sent you in the right direction, was probably the ruins of some sort of drow scout outpost.
Oh, that looks familiar.
And so it's probably something that caught your eye, and so it is derelict, empty, but you can see it is an area that was probably once used as some sort of basically scouting and ranging parties would base here, and kind of travel out from here to patrol the environment, the local environment, without having to like go back to the city. So there were usually supplies and food and other things kept in this location, so that they wouldn't have to go all the way back to the city. And based on the fact that it is a drow scout outpost, that leads you to believe that the Mind Flayer colony is indeed in a drow city.
Does the structure seem familiar?
It's definitely dark elven architecture. It's not elaborate. It is purely functional. But
Is
it
it
is
set up like the ones that I would have spent a lot of time in? Just similar?
similarly. Culturally, they're similar, but this is definitely, like a different city. But based on the various structural and architecture motifs, very much a city dominated by lulz. At least at one point. There are no like audio logs or anything of note or interest here to catch up on, but that kind of sent you in the right direction. And so you travel the next 2 hours, which means that you have done a total of 14 hours of travel, and you have 10 hours remaining. There's you start traversing along an underground river. And based on the sort of not way stations, but small and subtle markings, you definitely know that the city is close ahead. And when the passageways open up into sort of a larger cavern, you can the river is flowing downwards, and you're kind of following the path of the water. And so when at some point it merges into a it's a large cavern, but the water sort of drops down, and you can see it probably drops maybe 30 or 40 feet, pools a bit, and then continues on. And so where you're up, you're kind of up in the stalactites in the upper part of the cavern, and you can see down below, and you can see what appear to be a number of figures hidden in among shadow, but they seem to be moving about around a mossy, algae filled sort of wading pool of sorts. And when you sort of look in it and observe them, after a moment you realize these appear to be drow. They're dressed in ratty, tattered clothes. Their movements are stilted, and not nearly as flowing and elegant as is sort of trademark of elves. But you can see them moving about in this sort of wading pool, and it looks like they're like gathering mosses and algae and such.
Did they look aberrant?
It's hard to tell from this far. None of them have extra limbs, that's for sure. They seem to have the standard number of arms and legs and heads, but your perspective is very, very, very high. You're probably
Hey, Miss Yu, how you
60,
doing?
70 feet away from them, and there's a lot of like stalactites and whatnot in between you and them.
I want to get a better look.
So the cavern that you're in, the underground tunnel that you're in, that seems to have been carved by this underground river, kind of just ends, and so it's a 30 to 40 foot drop.
I'm gonna ask Weirya for the broom so I can get a closer look.
Weirya will give Velis the broom, and in the process, tap him and cast invisibility, so he's flat out invisible.
Useful.
All right.
She's like, I'm
Yeah.
not letting you go.
Okay.
I just want to take a look.
Okay.
Why did I just picture Weirya like bonking him on the head as he like bends down and is like, Weirya, give me the broom. She's just like bonk and gives him like
Good.
I just like I don't
Okay.
know. That's
I'm
the
gonna
mental image
stay
I just
up
got.
above a ways, but get closer, just close enough to see if there's something fucked up about them.
Okay. You get down close. Go ahead and make a dexterity stealth check for me. You have advantage and disadvantage, so cancels out.
That's a very small roll. Wait, I got my thing.
That jumped out of my dice tray onto my bookshelf.
Are you using your
That's
chat
impressive.
inspiration?
Yeah.
Okay. Mark it.
Weird situations tonight.
Plus 15 is a dirty 20. I
Okay.
got 5.
You slowly descend, and you can all see Velis
No, you can't.
slowly descending.
I'm invisible.
That's right.
I would have been
Well,
invisible.
We don't see shit.
Except for Aiden and Hegan and Wuria, because none of them rely on dark vision.
No,
but we also
invisibility.
Oh, you literally
So
cast
only
invisibility.
Yes.
Okay. So only Hegan can see you. As you descend lower and lower to the floor of this cavern, you quickly see that this is just a small portion of what seems to be another massive cavern, and you can see that this little inlet of water extends deeper. And this is just a small little side cavern. It looks like, and it looks almost like a massive underground lake or small sea. And as you begin to descend, you can see maybe a dozen or two, mostly drow. But now that you kind of dip down below and you can see sort of further into this massive space, there also appear to be one or two other figures that don't appear to be drow. At first glance, they're a little bit shorter, and it appears that they are dwarves. Not Dwergar, but actual dwarves. And there even seems to be a human among them. And you can see that they're all moving with that sort of same stilted, strange, mechanical thing. They are harvesting this algae, and you can see on what looks to be sort of like a makeshift barge that made from, your guess would be a particularly robust petrified mushroom or fungus of some kind. Like, instead of, they don't have a whole lot of wood down here, and so sometimes you can find fungi and mushrooms and stuff that more or less take the place of what appears to be a mind flayer.
This is the people that they were taking. This is
And
their
you can
slaves.
see that this is exactly what it appears to be. These are slaves that are probably completely mind blanked. They have no will really of their own at this point. They've been under this sway of the mind flayers for so long. And you've spent enough time studying aberrations, and mind flayers especially as your enemies, that you get a sense that this mind flayer is just sort of bored, maybe even a little hungry looking at the flock. But behind him, or it, you can see in the sea, there seems to be a large island that from here you can see there are, it's difficult to tell, but there are occasional light sources here and there on it. But looking up, you can see in this massive underground cavern huge stalactites coming down from the ceiling, lined with catwalks and bridges and doorways. And it appears that this is the Drow city that you had been heading towards. And from here, you can see that what once may have been an impressive and glorious city, home to, must have been at one point thousands of drow, is a shell of its former home, overrun with aberrations, and you can see shapes flitting about among those massive stalactites. You can see occasional lights and light sources. But you have reached the underground and long since lost city.
sit there on the broom for a solid 10 or 20 seconds with a hand on an arrow, just twisting it and looking at that mind flare.
And it seems completely oblivious to your presence. And you know for a fact that they can sense intelligent creatures around them. And in any other circumstance, your instincts are screaming at you at this point. But there's...
The hand is
By
still
the-
shaking a little bit,
yeah.
but still just twisting that arrow for a good 20 seconds before turning around and going back.
And that is where we're going to need to end for tonight.
Seems like a good stopping point.
Yeah.
Well, we made it.
Oh,
you did make it.
Mind Flayer City. Now, can we live? Survive?
And you have
Can we
10
survive the
hours
night
remaining.
beforehand?
Yeah.
I want
Cobalt
to
is
take
still awake.
whenever we get
Make a
to
note of that.
the next game.
Yeah.
I want to
I've got a note.
take time with the rest.
All right.
There's a lot to process.
Yeah.
I mean, if you would like,
the...
if you all would like to actually talk through some things and whatnot, please feel free and take a moment. But I have to attend to children and such things because it's gotten late. Because they'll stay up to 1 o'clock in the morning if I let them, and I need to make sure that
They don't do that.
get dinner
Don't
or
make
not.
my mistakes.
Learn from my mistakes.
Exactly. Before I go into my sleep for a second.
But
Yeah.
thank you all
Kristen,
for jumping in.
I
Yeah.
almost
Have
wore
a good
that
night.
cloak today, but also the sleeves are so
We
damn
got a
long.
lot
I was
of-
I'm gonna lose my dice in them.
It's so cozy.
I'm rejecting a bunch of stuff just because we didn't use them. Thank you all so much
I
for the chat
did use-
inspirations tonight.
Yeah.
That was
I did
very
use
helpful.
I did use one.
I got yours.
I used to.
I got both of yours, and I got Aiden used 3, I think,
I
or 2 or 3.
Aiden
2 or
using
3.
them
That's
constantly.
what you're talking about.
I mean,
Yeah,
Aiden did a lot of checks tonight.
Yeah.
I found this when I was doing my laundry, and I was like, I haven't worn this in a while, and I want to because I love
Everything's
it. and
off
it's
kilter
cozy.
now. Sorry about that.
Oh
I've been wearing
man,
it.
I want to talk so bad.
I mean,
Elias, is
if
that
you
who we're
want
probably
to,
gonna
you
check
can.
in with Velis at least when we get a rest?
We need.
Possibly Aiden too. Just be like, all right.
Oh yeah. That's literally I got.
Are okay, right?
I've been
Like,
I've been wanting to.
Yeah, I really,
I don't know how
really
much
need to have-
Aiden is going to talk in a group setting, but he
Yeah.
definitely wants to have a one-on-one.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just. There's a part of me that's like, I'm actually getting sick because I need to eat, but there's another part of me that goes, but I want to keep the RP. I want a chance to do some RP.
Want
I need to
RP.
have
I mean,
my-
also
Always want
please,
RP.
Like, don't make
I
yourself.
mean,
sick
it's kind
from
of
not
a
doing
question
it.
of when
Um,
do we want to
so-
take the rest? Because I
Yeah.
feel like we're not
So-
quite at the point where
What?
we want to bunk down.
What?
What?
I mean,
He
What?
died
Why
age 4. Thank you so much for the $50 tip. Holy shit! Thank you very, very much.
That's awesome.
Aw.
Dude, take fucking all of these. Damn. We're very glad you enjoyed the game.
I mean, if anyone wants to do some RP stuff, if I can eat first, then, or at least make some food, which will take me like 10, 15
I have
minutes.
to sleep, but Leah's. Unless anybody approaches Leah, I don't know that she's the type to.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
I would be
Bring
up
it
for
up,
some,
you
but
know,
I
like-
I have to eat first.
So
Yes. Get food.
yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
have
go
to
get
sleep,
food and we'll see what
Yeah.
we're
but-
doing.
Yeah,
We'll
if
see
you
what
guys
comes.
want to
Yeah.
stay up and talk and stuff, that's fine. I won't be offended.
Sweet, Velis.
Yeah. I feel like some talks are gonna overlap here.
Are
Well,
we
I mean, I
on
feel like-
for next week?
That's a question. I
think so.
think so.
I think.
We should be.
I see it marked. I'm here. I
Yeah.
haven't marked it, but I am here. Are we on time next
Yeah.
week?
Please.
Yeah, please. That would be nice.
Okay.
So yeah. Hopefully, chat. Hopefully, this game will be back next week, closer to 8 to 8:30
Josh is
p.m. That's our
telling
normal
Velis
time.
to go eat.
It's just been
Yeah.
That is great.
It's just been a
Well, we don't-
hiatus
we are-
and whatnot for a bit.
We aren't mid combat.
We're not mid combat anymore, so
If cleric isn't present when we start, we can live.
I mean, I am good for next week. I'm not going to be late. So.
Okay.
Next week looks perfect.
Yeah.
So.
Assuming
Love
Brendan
it.
is good, we should
Oh,
be back
yeah.
next week around 8:30, depending on it's a little timey-wimey.
Yeah.
But generally that's our normal time for this game. So yeah.
We try to start around 8. We don't always succeed.
Yeah. I don't have a placeholder for Brendan because he doesn't have a character. But he'll just be a gray screen for a bit since he had to go real life. We didn't quite figure out, are we? Because I'm down. But I also...
I mean, I'm taking Haku out, and we'll
Because I can put
probably
up
grab
a
snack, but...
break for the meanwhile, if that's the case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am gonna head off, but yeah, you
Okay.
guys are welcome to, especially if Aiden wanted to have any one-on-one or if Elias wanted to check in.
I
like,
mean,
you don't need me there.
there is so much that is
Yeah,
a
there's...
month removed at this point, but
Yeah, there's... Yeah.
there's a lot.
A lot. Yeah, there's a lot to unpack for...
Yeah. The challenge is getting a one-on-one when we're that close to a 9-player city.
Yeah.
It's basically during watches.
I mean, I kind of almost assumed we were going to take a long rest when we took a short rest, so...
Yeah, but we didn't know how well we were going to do with timing then. And whether we'd have time.
But yeah, we
got
didn't
lucky
know
there, I
really
think.
how far we were or anything. So
yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, we got real lucky with this.
Good night.
Good night.
Night,
And I will... Just that.
Also, the title for this made me think of...
Oh, down, down.
The Rankin Bass.
Mhm.
Well, also the Return of the King, because, like, I have a video I made 10 years ago. I'm looking at it. That's suddenly gotten very popular, and I don't know why. But it's just the Helm's Deep scene with where there's a whip, there's a way from the Return of the King.
Nice.
Oh, God.
Hey, Dag. How's it going?
Hold on,
Oh, God.
Yeah. I will at least put up... I'll put up the break time. And we'll be back with some RP maybe in a bit. So, enjoy. Whoop. There we go. Oh, that's the wrong button. We shall deal with this the way we deal with everything else.
Punch him in the asshole.
Yes, the prison pocket.
What is with you? Prison?
I'm gonna use that new spell that I got just to punch Nox. I think I'm gonna do it. If we're not doing it tonight, I think I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna wallop him right now.
I was trying to have a moment, but no.
It's Bureau's fault. Blame Bureau. He's the one who said it.
I said it once.
I know.
So
you shouldn't have said it.
Yeah, but when John hears it and he loves something, he's gonna run that joke into the fucking ground. That's what you don't understand.
He's gonna bury that thing 10 feet deep.
Here lies
10
prison
feet
pocket.
up the prison pocket.
55 to 80.
Side behind you, those of you who are still in the four-way intersection.
Oh boy.
You watch as coming out of that weird green glowy liquid.
Motherfucker.
Is another one.
Fucking
I
hell.
knew I should have drank it.
No.
I don't think you should have drank the snake liquid.
People have been telling me that for years. I've never taken their advice.
Oh my God.
Big inspiration.
What you gonna do?
Someone clip that, please. Tommy, clip that shit.
And I fist hard. And I fist strong.
All right, I'm down. Let's do this.
I'm not King Shaman. Let's do this.
Excellent. Prepare your body. No. You should not eat dinner before this. Otherwise, you might puke it all over me, and that is just... Ugh. We are fisters here, men of culture.
Well, I had fun.
I don't know. It seems like a rather unsatisfying finish, don't you think?
I don't know.
Thou
I'm
hast
pretty
heard
satisfied.
Such a thing many times. He set himself up for that fucker.
Elias just falls out of his chair.
The sun quickly reaches out to catch him.
This is at least worth. If something's going on in this city involving, I'd like to know about it.
Of course, I shall follow their lead. Yeah. But for now, I know thou wishest to have thy spell time.
Spell time?
She just like she doesn't really know.
That's a phrase.
She's like, that's...
Is that what they're calling it now?
He wants to go alone into the bedroom.
Not how modern play works.
Put out some incense. What do you think?
It's gonna take me like 10 minutes.
Nah, I'll just void that. I'll cast locate object on gold coins.
You get several thousand dings on your locate object. Without too much trouble with that, you are able to find the horde of Zuthus, the corroded soul.
We found them. Yay.
Like, I shall not say this very often, but get the hole ready.
Yeah, it's not gonna fit in the bag, brah. It's not fitting
You just
in
got
the bag.
experience points.
Yes! Let's go. Let's go.
I hope you've got quite a few other a small army of capable fighters with you.
Smash cut to small army fighting people in the ring in that bar.
Ding, 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 ding.
Smash cut to Vanya and Orion fighting what looks to be about a dozen other dwarves in a caged ring.
Please tell me Vanya is wielding Orani like a club and is just and is swinging down, stopping her before that Orani punches. Hey, the punching club, my only weakness.
Just leave one leg open so I can kick him too.
Smash cut back to the office. Smash cut back to the office of Nostock.
You could say we have something along those lines.
Specifically, this one's called. That one's called. Fuck.
It's a weird name for an island. Fuck.
Fuck it! I said
You really
it.
don't want to go now.
It's Fuck Island.
It's either the best or the worst island in the archipelago.
So named.
It's definitely not a mediocre experience, though.
So named because everybody who goes there says, "Fuck, this is a terrible place."
That's actually their slogan. Fuck, this is a terrible place.
Yeah, it's what their tourism bureau tells people. Yeah, so as you're going by Fuck Island, you hear some crows saying, "Yeah, the people on Fuck Island are fighting each other again."
I don't suppose the crows recognize any cult symbols?
Nah, no cults there. Just 3 different groups of people with very strong ideas about what to do.
Just a bunch of fuckers, really.
Yeah, basically.
So these fuckers want to raise taxes.
Only some of the horrible things going on are cult things. The rest are just regular terrible people.
Just double checking.
That's fair.
Because I kind of want to know who our neighbors are, but that'll be on that goes on to the to-do list.
All right. Yeah. I will. Let me come up with some quick faction names for you while we're sailing.
The factions that we can get to fight each other harder.
Sure. They're already in a turf war. You can't start one amongst them.
Okay, so our goal is to stop the turf war. Got it.
We need to unite the fuckers against a common foe.
Common fuckery.
Friends, Romans, fuckers.
Under the banner of common fuckery.
Oh, I'm so glad we named it Fuck Island. Oh,
I thought I didn't have enough caffeine for this, but apparently I
do. I'm just gonna go ahead and start another Google Doc real quick for Fuck Island. Because I think we're gonna see more of it in the future. Alrighty. So yeah, you pass by Fuck Island. The fuckers are fighting the fuckers are fighting the shitters again.
Fuck you all. I might be crying. I'm laughing so hard.
Oh, you're gonna have to give me a second. Okay.
Fucking same.
If we conquer it and then eventually trade it away in a business deal, we could give somebody a fuck. Or if we refuse to do it, we would not give a fuck.
Fuck you!
Look at all the I have to get. Yeah. Okay.
If the shitters are involved, I don't want to take any shit.
I think I'm just dead, guys. I'm sorry.
Their main factions are now canonically the fuckers, the shitters, and the dammers. The fuckers really want to fuck shit up. The shitters just the shitters are big on the idea of public infrastructure, specifically for sewage, and the dammers are really, really big on building dams for some reason.
They're a big fan of beavers.
Yeah, big fan of beavers. They're beaver people. Yes.
So it's ultimately a conflict about public infrastructure planning.
It's ultimately a conflict about public infrastructure of two people who have very strong ideas on two groups of people who have very strong ideas about what the main form of public infrastructure should be and what their focus should be, versus one other group of people who just really, really want to fuck shit up.
I just thought the fuckers were just really into just making it a very island brothel.
Fuck.
This is starting to sound like a doctor's.
Before.
That's true. Yeah. You can look back at the VOD, damn it.
It's fine.
Anything that happens beforehand, we just like go back to it. And then otherwise, like we know we're getting a long rest sometime somewhere, so we make up a dome, a hidden dome.
I feel like if we decide to do other stuff before we rest, then we can come back to it. Kind of like retcon.
Who's up to that point?
Phyllis is tired, guys.
Yeah.
Everyone's tired.
Yeah.
Phyllis is very, very, very tired.
Only some of us are exhausted.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Hi, Haku.
Exhaustion, my old best friend.
Yeah, I mean, you have become quite buddy-buddy with exhaustion. It's true.
This is why I took the thing that lets me get rid of it on a short rest.
It is really hard to get like talk one-on-one, not in a group setting when you're traveling quietly.
Yeah.
I guess technically you could.
I mean, yeah, you can. It's just harder to get that sense of nobody else is listening in on this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, for whatever it's worth, I know that Velos is not going to sleep right away. Whenever we set up, he's pretty restless. He's gonna be, I don't know, just very restless, not really holding still.
Yep. But yeah, we'll find a spot where you'll make a dome. It's a thing.
Hidden into a cavern wall.
I mean, yeah, you can make the outside blend in, so.
Yeah.
I know you two are probably having that conversation there, so if anything, probably while still traveling, which is like a quiet aside, like, given everything that giving back and forth, for now would just be at some point like, Aiden, I understand your frustration, I really do. But I pray you doth not take it out on him. Just kind of like peeking over to Velis, like, discreetly. Being here is obviously against nature he hath followed for decades, if not centuries at this point. It's going against that.
Well, then I think he'd want to be as cautious as possible.
And he is, to an extent. Seemeth to be.
Well, we got lucky, so I'm not gonna come down and hard at him, but there is still something to be said for walking naked into a colony of mind flayers. Because of some family issues.
It is difficult to tell what wouldst have come from that, and we obviously shall not know for sure now. But as you said, we got lucky. Whether that is more or less than expected, we have no idea at this point. But you two are similar in some senses, but very different in others when it comes to risk, and I recognize that. But you also doth not know his family as he does. None of us do.
No, but I can understand the situation. When do you think I knew exactly what his sister would get out of it?
I suppose so. And still, try not to be too harsh. As
A lot's happened since that point. As I said, we got lucky. So, could say I'm over it.
Is that true?
Not entirely.
I figured. Hence, I felt the need to say something. But again, I understand. I know this must be near grueling at this point.
Oh, we gotta make use of the time we have.
And we seemed to, at least, given circumstances so far, made good time. Perhaps we shall have enough.
Hope our luck holds. Yes.
We can only hope.
I feel like Velas would eventually step back and call Aiden up to take a look at a potential place to rest, since he's been the eyes on everything.
Well, I guess the real question is, do we do it on this side of the lake or the other?
We don't cross. There's too many eyes down there. Safer over here.
Really? Because I'd say stealing that barge is a fair bet, because how else are we going to go across?
I mean, I'm not against it. But not now.
Well,
there's dozens of people down there.
And most of them are mindless drones.
Drones that they can pull into their service at any time.
What was your plan, by the way?
For what?
Without taking your sister's help. And provided Elias didn't appeal to the gods. What was your plan?
What was yours before she showed up?
I mean, it's a fair point.
I trust us, not her.
Well, there's a difference between having to come up with a solution on the fly and someone offering you a solution, and when you don't have any other options, still refusing to take it.
Do you honestly think that that would have benefited us? Are you honestly that stupid?
Are you? I would think you of all people would understand how much my brother being alive this long apparently is an anomaly.
And I'm not denying that. I'm saying trust us, not her. He came all this way for you. And Leah, but mostly for you. We're not going to walk away and fuck this up for you. You can't just keep making deals left and right with everyone who shows up and not expect it to backfire at some point.
Yeah, and by not taking that deal, you're risking everybody, not just me. Not just my brother. You're risking everybody by not taking the help when it's offered.
If you honestly think that anything that Anessa has to offer is help, I don't know what to say to you.
I'm just saying you could have considered it a little longer. Look, I get it, okay? If it was my uncle, I'd feel the same way. But I feel like didn't think far enough ahead.
I wouldn't trust anything from her, no matter how much I thought about it. Maybe it does what she says, maybe it doesn't, but I guarantee you the strings wouldn't have been worth it.
Well, as I said, we got lucky. So I guess it doesn't really matter.
No, I guess it doesn't.
So what was that thing that happened during the fight? Because that was a little odd. Your little tentacle explosion.
I don't know.
You don't know?
I genuinely don't fucking know.
Okay. How can you sense where they are?
I don't know that either, alright? We should set up camp.
Hey, this is irrelevant. Okay? And it's not like I'm trying to press you for anything. But
I just feel like it's a conversation that I don't want to repeat, so if we're gonna have this, we need to have this in front of everyone.
okay.
Because I'm sure you're not the only person who's going to ask, and I don't think I have it in me to talk about this more than once.
Fair. But just as a note, I think there's a possibility you might be the answer we're looking for to Leah's mom.
That's a hell of a take.
Well, I was, one of those things I was talking to my sword about, and I kind of disregarded it because he made it out to be some, like, a rare thing, so I didn't want to count on it, but mentioned something about being exposed to these aberrants can sometimes cause people to develop the ability to, use some of their tricks. So if we're not going to find a mind flayer to talk the thing down that's inside Leah's bomb, could try and find somebody like that. But again, he said it was so rare, so I didn't put any stock in it. But it's a possibility.
And if there's anything good to come out of this, I'll take it. I don't know what it is.
Get some rest.
Yeah. I think we all need that. Call everyone over to set up.
This has been a day.
Indeed.
And before the next person asks, no, I don't know what the fuck that was back there.
I was just gonna ask if you were doing okay.
Don't mind him, he's sensitive right now.
Rock at Aiden.
It gives Aiden a look like maybe that's pot calling the kettle black a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, you did do that once before, so it's not like it was brand new.
Elias, what do you think? Everything's sunshine and rainbows.
You saying sunshine and rainbows is honestly more frightening than most of what we've seen down
That is somewhat alarming.
Like, if I say sunshine and rainbows.
Look,
That's
it's been
perfectly
a
okay.
really long day.
Either I'm rubbing off on you, or you need to rest.
Yeah. Just trying to say if you need to talk or something. I don't know.
Yes.
Therapy's good.
Sleep. I'm
Therapy?
Wouldn't go that far.
I mean, I wasn't
I
saying
don't know
that
how much talking
we
is
would provide the therapy, just
to help.
eventually therapy.
I'm not trained in that.
Again, I don't know that we would provide the therapy, just eventually
What is therapy?
Talking to help process and solve problems, sort of.
Usually it's a trained professional
Yeah.
that.
I was going to say, tis that not simply communicating?
I would just take a bottle of strong alcohol at this point. If anybody's been hiding one of those.
Let me dig through my bag. I doubt I have it.
Pernell, I think typically it's like you don't want it to be someone who's really invested in the situation, which means
It's not like a nice bar of scented soap. Can I have you an egg at this trying time?
I cannot drink that.
Yeah,
I
could,
could, but I
Melt
don't
it down.
think it would work.
Holy water.
Talking that solves problems. Oh, like casting fireball?
I do not have alcohol.
Damn shame.
Perhaps later.
You're often the one who carries the alcohol, honestly, Velas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I drank all of it.
Then
Yes. It was possibly for the best not to carry around any of that from the minor foreman. That was something.
I would take some of that right now.
Yeah.
But in absence of this therapy, if there is things to talk about, that is better now than later.
There is to say.
I mean,
I didn't expect her to show up.
that was a very strange manner of showing up, to be perfectly honest.
Sucks.
I'm not going to pretend it doesn't worry me about what she might try.
Well, you can just set her on fire if she tries anything.
That.
Or, stab. Or we're very good at killing people.
We have a very large arsenal.
I could make her laugh really hard, but I don't know how useful that would be.
I mean, it's worked before.
Yeah.
I am not against setting her on fire, but she's in another continent.
While she's
She
laughing.
has ways of fucking with us when she's not even here. Apparently.
I don't like that.
Fucking hate her.
You? I was not aware.
Yeah.
What else should we know about her?
Yeah. That's a good point. Is there anything we should... beyond the fact that she sucks?
I don't even know her anymore. I haven't been home for 80 years.
Oh.
I don't
We're,
know
like,
what's
trying to think about
changed.
80 years.
Yeah, I feel like that's longer than I've been alive.
Yeah, okay, 80 years.
Okay.
Well,
Very long.
Am I right?
Elves, am I right?
For now, and Tegan are just like, meh. It's a couple years.
happened in 80 years, but what was she like when you did know her, I guess?
I mean, you've never given me a very good impression of her, I have to say.
Obsessed, fanatical. She would do anything and everything in service of her goddess. literally anything. I honestly didn't think she'd go so far as to turn herself into a fucking monster for it, but here we are. She's always taken after my mother, but to extremes. I don't have any idea why she would show up now.
I mean, Elias accidentally called her, and then...
In my defense, I think she was already keeping tabs on you.
Yeah, no, I wasn't actually.
I don't think that
sequence of events
wouldn't have been her if there wasn't already something there.
Yeah, there was, or at the very least, possibly keeping tabs on Gordon, because that's where we were.
That is
with that spider.
There were a lot of aberrations there.
Mm-hmm.
Why would she care about that?
And that shrug is weird, yeah.
Yeah.
Could you imagine simultaneous shrug from Elias and Wiria?
We doth keep on stumbling across many a mystery.
It's also
my
assuming
life
that
is
she
gonna be
was
boring.
indeed trying to help hide us. Why?
I mean, I think that the sheer satisfaction of getting you all to say yes is definitely part of it, but
It's possible we could have a common enemy in these mind flayers, but the enemy of my enemy is not always my friend.
And I don't think that her help would have come with a price. I don't want to know what that price is.
Probably spiders.
So very many spiders.
So many spiders. Just everywhere. Never get a comfortable night's sleep again.
I don't know if that's better or worse than what I...
It's just lots of spiders.
I
At least be creative.
I mean, for what it's worth, I think that it would have done what she said. But that wouldn't have been the end of it. And then the rest of you would have gotten caught up in something else. Just look at Aiden. Some things are not worth it.
Just kind of roll his eyes.
I assume she's the sort who would want to call in debts.
Of course.
Though I always seemeth to be caught up in something else at least, if not specifically tied to that. And that is not your fault. That is just how we operate at this point. Being caught up in things.
We are very that, but at least, you know, we mostly generally help people.
This was not supposed to catch up with us.
That is never for us to decide.
Shit happens.
An astute observation. Take out her book.
Shit happens.
We're done. Shit happens.
Just a page. It just says shit
Yep.
happens.
Is there anything we should know in other matters? I'm peeking to Aiden.
Just give her like, I don't know.
I suppose, is there
Aiden
anything...
seems to think that whatever the fuck happened with that statue when we were fighting it could be connected to Leah's mom. Or to
I
helping.
feel like that's the best way of explaining it, but okay.
Yes, I'm a bit confused.
I don't know either. I mean, to helping, I guess. I don't. All I can say is that what she went through and what happened to me were probably pretty similar. As far as I know I don't have one of those things in here. I wouldn't be surprised if that just came up at some point.
As you know.
I feel like with the other abilities you've displayed, you'd probably be able to tell.
That's fair. Oh, God, I can't even imagine sensing one of those things in my own head. It's bad enough when they're out there.
That would be a pretty terrible feedback loop, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
Well,
Dean's tired apparently.
when we're done with this, I suppose we can see if you can somehow do something.
I have absolutely no idea what that would look like. I don't know what it is. I didn't even know I could sense them until we were in the Shadowfell. Everything else is new. I don't know what it means.
I mean, we all pick up new skills as things go on, so...
Yeah, but most of your new skills don't make things explode out of your skin.
No, there's generally not much exploding out of my skin. That is true.
I mean, I feel like I could do that if I really wanted to.
I'm sure you could.
Yeah,
and
you
that's
probably
not
could.
comforting.
I mean,
it does seem. I mean,
I believe the term is that tracks.
but also, imagine the first time I, teased my brother and he found it painful. Literally.
I recently summoned a swarm of insects out of nothing for the first time, so...
That was most useful, thank you for that.
And I have a
It was, but it was also...
is really invested in murder.
Unconcerning.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm focusing on the positive in that moment.
So we all have our strange and unexpected moments.
Aside from that, glances back to Aiden, I was referring to... I suppose this is a difficult, confusing question, but is there anything that we should know about your brother in attempting to aid him?
Damn, I'm not really sure what kind of information would be relevant to that. I'm not sure what
It's
you're
kind of-
trying to ask. He's captured by mind flayers, and we need to stop that.
Yes.
Evidently. Seems pretty straightforward.
Yes, but we know very little about him in... Well, if we find him before you do... At any point.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you'd be able to pick out somebody that's related to me out of everything that's down here.
Well, yes. I'm difficult with this. I doth not wish to... I don't know what the term would be. Startle, I know not what I'm saying anymore. 'Tis been a long day.
We also have to be prepared that he's probably going to put up some resistance.
Yeah, there's like a little bit of a cringe there. Like she was kind of leaning to that and worried about that, but didn't know how to say it.
Yeah. Thanks for
We'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
I was actually gonna say
This is one of
I'm
those
not
situations
saying
where
that-
it may not be good to say that.
I'm not implying that he's willing. These things get in your head literally. It doesn't mean it's of his own vocation.
I'm well aware.
So, if it's a fight, we knock his ass out and drag him back. Kicking and screaming if we have to. And then we fix it. Because if there's anything I've seen, it's that somehow we're pretty damn good at fixing things.
Why is it that you're only confident when it's not about you, Bellis?
You noticed.
Yeah.
It's not that I'm not confident, it's that I don't. I just don't want to see any of you caught up in it. So,
Well, at least I've accepted that everyone's gonna meddle in my bullshit at this point.
Yeah.
Just giving Velsa look like, really? Again?
Really?
Again? Again?
You keep.
I'm never going to like it.
No, you don't have to, but
You don't have
try
to
to
like
follow
it.
your own advice.
Tis difficult to accept, I understand that. Very, very well.
Yeah.
But perhaps
Speaking
try
from
eventually.
experience.
Look, I'm still not against setting her on fire. If we could do that, I'd be fine with that.
Agreed.
Mm.
We have plenty of fire.
What?
I almost did something really horrible.
No, please say it.
Would Elias say?
Yeah. Foot and mouth
Dude,
moment?
almost had to
Elias,
what?
Elias would certainly start to say it.
Foot and mouth
Yeah,
moment?
and then went,
Yeah. This is Elias's wisdom and charisma fighting.
well, more like this is like almost saying something horrible about himself, and then it's like
Go on.
I was about to say,
That
I'm
we
about to
want
say
to.
I'm real good at killing siblings. So that's why
The worst!
Whoa.
Let's not say that.
Yeah,
let's not say that.
pretend
Even
we
if it's
did.
a self-burn,
It's a
Yeah.
self-burn because that
it
is
also
what he
has
did.
other
Yeah,
implications.
it's so
Yeah.
many.
Yeah.
Like,
We're like 3/4 of this
Already?
party.
Fine.
Oh god.
just because it's true doesn't mean I should say it.
Also, technically, is it true? Is it really?
I mean, technically, he's
He
only
didn't.
killed
You didn't do it to begin with.
Not initially, but the second time round with his brother.
It's perception.
You know.
Well, I mean, we go in, we deal with Mind Flayer Colony.
I think we hope for the best, prepare for the worst.
Out of curiosity, what are the best and the worst in this situation?
You don't want the answer to
is-
that.
I would say the
It's
best
hard to
is
prepare for something if we
well,
don't know what it is.
We don't
let's
have
say
a
the
point.
best is the best is we
case
rescue
scenario.
Aiden's brother, kill a bunch of mind flayers.
Hmm.
Burn the
I
place to
mean,
the
best
ground.
case scenario is my brother's being held somewhere. We manage to just get to him. He's fine, and we can just get out.
Get out, yeah.
It's not going to be that easy. Because odds are there's a Delcure roaming around here.
Who's probably real interested in keeping your brother where he is.
Honestly, the fact that the Delcure is involved is probably the only reason he's still alive.
I guess we go in and we do our best.
And if worse comes to worse, we have Higgins' helm.
Honestly, I feel like that should be our primary escape plan.
Fair.
Say the word.
Because it saves us having to trek back all the way through the Underdark.
I like
Oh, I was assuming that, but whether it is before or after dealing with
You meant as an emergency stop.
though I know not if mind flayers or the Delcure can counteract an item like that, which they may be able to.
Oh, there could be thousands of them in there.
I don't think.
Hundreds at least.
Mind flayers in general, not really.
Yes, yeah.
We've run across a couple that have had spellcasting capabilities, so the ones that can should stick out.
Then we take note of those.
Yeah. Delcures, expect anything.
Hello, Warriors for Life. Welcome.
Yeah, I mean, our experience with Delcure so far has not been
We're
anything
role-playing.
normal. So
How are you?
Funny, there was a time that I would have said this was the worst possible thing that could happen, and now we're walking in willingly.
Yep.
I mean,
As we do.
you all signed up for
As
this.
we-
As
as
you
I-
were so
as we do.
fond of reminding me the other
I'm not complaining.
time.
No. I know.
Billie Eilish. Wow, that is a
I'm
compliment.
not trying
Thank
to
you.
back out.
You make a damn good argument for it.
I don't have any intention of running away.
Oh.
Because I don't like this doesn't mean that I'm not here to fix it.
Oh no, I know. I think we're all well aware how much you like bitching. Oh shit, I'll get some rest before too long.
Yeah. Good idea.
Don't
All of
wanna
us
waste
so
the
exhausted. Not me, but all of us.
Watch order then. I'll take last again.
I'm awake. I'll stay up.
Be careful with
just
that,
always
Velas. You
assume
doth
that
look like
Velas
shit.
and Elias-
Coming from you, I'll believe it.
More often than not, when he's exhausted, he wants to take watch. Isn't that how it always happens?
Yeah.
I mean, I think he just needs. He seems to need less sleep, no matter how tired he is, because
I don't.
I don't
need to
know. I
sleep
assume
like the rest of you.
I've been wondering about that.
No, I don't.
Elves, am I right?
Wait, you did not know.
I'm picturing that as like Aiden's like rolling himself up in a bedroll. Just like, oh.
I would. I suspect we probably keep watch within
stay up and
dome.
Keep
Someone
watch with a
wandering.
second pair of eyes.
Yes.
Yeah, I think doubling up on watch is a good idea out here.
Yeah.
I mean, there's literally a mind flayer over there.
I don't think it's gonna be there all night.
But we watch as if we assume that is the case.
Yeah.
So long as we watch as though that were the case, it should be fine.
Your
I
audio's-
can't hear you.
Yeah, your mic's.
Did you?
Oh, we don't know if you said
were you saying
anything.
something?
Your mouth moves as if you're talking, but
I was eating food.
okay.
Well, it was a particular chew pattern that looked a lot like words.
No.
A little bit, yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay. We just didn't realize. We all thought you were talking.
Nope.
Yes, thank you, Daniel. That.
Sorry. Yeah, I mean, I'll put up the dome wherever we're putting up the dome and make it look as close to whatever color of Underdark shit is nearest and go.
It's a nice nickname for stalagmites.
Underdark shit.
Wait. Like, took a second, then. Honestly, it might be, given bats.
That would be a lot of shit.
I don't think we'd want to see any of the bats that would live around here. They
No,
probably
probably,
have extra eyes.
And 6 wings.
Yeah, I don't like that.
They fly upside down.
Seemeth to be a detriment.
And yet.
Get some sleep.
Yeah. You get some sleep at some point, please.
Yes.
I will.
Giving Velas
I
a look.
actually believe
Promise.
that a little bit.
I promise, Pernell.
I mean, others of us are gonna have to wake up for watch at some point. So
If I don't sleep, someone can kick me. I don't know. Some of you
Okay.
are very good at that.
Don't tempt us.
Yeah.
Aiden had the.
Like 3 of us immediately are like, okay.
Yeah, at least.
We would just like pick up a blanket and like toss it over Velas's head.
Yeah, she would.
Swaddle him.
If we want, we could like just say who's got what watch now and just
Yeah.
mark it down in
Yeah.
chat for next week so we know.
Yeah.
Just have it.
Egan will take second.
I mean,
Pernell's got
we're gonna
third.
watch with-
If it means he gets to kick Velas, he'll take second.
Who's also on first then?
I think
So we're gonna
Elias-
double up.
I thought it was you and Elias, yeah.
Okay, I didn't hear Maggie.
I can take
You didn't
one.
hear Maggie do exactly what we all knew Maggie was going to do.
Hegan, where you can watch with you.
Although, well,
Okay.
I can attempt
Stop him
to
from kicking Velas
negate
too hard.
any disadvantages because I realize I am exhausted. He is exhausted right now, but it's fine.
Why don't you guys take a later watch and and get rid of your exhaustion?
I mean, I could take second watch and get.
Here's the
my
thing.
rest.
I'll be honest with you. Keegan will probably not wake Velos up if he takes a different watch. He will pick somebody else.
I'm gonna take watch because I'm awake.
That's fair.
Yeah, alright. We're just gonna go for it. Fuck it. So.
Alright.
I'm putting a note. Velis, Elias, and second watch was Hegan.
And Wiria.
And then Pernell and
Between
Aiden.
Hegan and Wiria, we'll just sit in the
Is
dome
Aiden-
and see.
we don't know.
Oh.
Yep. Nothing gets by.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, I can hop on. Yeah, first or third watch, whichever. So yeah.
Velis doesn't want to actually sleep, so.
Yeah.
Velis will sleep later.
And with that, unless there's anything else, we should probably call it there before it gets even later.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still probably gonna.
Yeah. I might peek into Purple Lotus. But, that's
But
why.
also, so like, DM can.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so yeah, no,
DM
this will be good.
Cool.
All right.
Okay, chat friends. I know who to send you to. So, we'll be back hopefully next week with this continuing as usual.
If not, then I assume we can do alt game.
Probably alt game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Either way, we'll have that or we'll have alt
Shenanigans
game.
of a different flavor.
Yep.
We will have a
Otherwise,
game.
I'll probably be back tomorrow with the VR chat thing. We're having a camping trip with the guild, so it'll be shenanigans.
It looks like we're basically all here next
Yep.
week,
So please send some love to Joel Bowl, our great guild master Ryash, who's working the Purple Lotus tonight. And until next time, you all stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. And we'll see you next time. Bye!
I'm a badass, asexual, polyhedral dice holder. I'm proud to be. I'm a flying ace and fly through outer space. Hello, sweetie. I'm a badass, asexual, polyhedral dice holder. I'm proud to be in whatever sitch, like singing on Twitch or playing D&D. I'm a badass, asexual, polyhedral dice holder. You may call me obsessive, but I just border on being a collector and being a dragon that sits atop my treasure. That's so shiny. I'm a badass, asexual, polyhedral dice order. And my partners love me for it. I'm a natural 20 when it comes to being me.